Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only podcast that starts exactly at 7 p.m. unless you have to sit through an hour and 20 minutes of traffic. I'm your host,
Oh,
Ryan Knightsey, and with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday night?
good now, I guess. You're here. That's good. I've never been early in my life, and today I was. And that's the day you're stuck in traffic for 7 years.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
I'm looking forward to today's episode. There's a lot to talk about. That's cool.
Yeah.
History was made today, which is really cool as well.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a bit about that.
We just described it. History is made today. Scotty was early to the recording.
Yeah. Listen, that's why I'm here early. I'm here to make more history. It doesn't stop with the Tokyo Sports Awards. It continues with me.
Well, yeah, because you just won a podcast sports award for being to the recording first. So you won the MVP for podcast sports recording for the 12/16 Ring Post Radio recording.
Exactly. But
tough competition. Gotta say.
Oh yeah, and we have the Christmas theme because they let it out early, so I'm keeping it for the next 2 weeks.
What's the gingerbread guy's name in the bottom right?
Oh, that's
I was gonna say Tomas.
Tomas.
Yeah,
Tomas the gingerbread man.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. How's it going, Tomas? How's it? It's like an old man's voice. How's it going? He's an old Western. He's someone from Gunsmoke. How's it going?
I'd ask you how you were, but sounds like it was pretty bad.
Well, it is also fair to ask because I want the audience to know that I literally ran out of my car, ran straight to this recording, opened up StreamYard, didn't say a single word to Scotty, and started the recording immediately. So this is literally our, hey, Scotty, how are you doing? How was your day? How was your week?
Haven't spoke till now.
Mm-hmm.
Week was good.
Do we have a movie update? Do we have any movie updates? As we are secretly a movie podcast.
Yeah, of course. So I'm still watching a lot of them. I watched Knives Out and Glass Onion for the first time.
All right. Is this in preparation for Wake Up Dead Man, or did you already watch that?
I'll watch Wake Up Dead Man either today, tomorrow, the next day. So
perfect. What do you think of the Rian Johnson murder mystery vehicles?
I thought Knives Out was great. I hate Edward Norton, so I didn't like Glass Onion as much. But it was good. I think they're fun. Oh, and Benoit Blanc's one of my favorite characters. So
Benny Blanc?
Yeah, I think he's hysterical. So
I know.
I literally said once the Glass Onion was over, I was like, I didn't love this one as much, but as long as what's his name?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig wants to keep doing these, just keep making them. I don't give a shit. Just keep making them. Get to 6, get to 7. I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as he's in, I'm in.
I agree. I also feel like in Glass Onion he had more a more playful energy just because of the what to the extent of what the murder mystery solving capabilities were, where he's just like, it's so obvious. This is stupid.
That was so good. He's like, all right, we're gonna figure out a murder. He's like, oh, I figured it out. And then boom, bam, bam. I was like, yeah, this guy's the man. He's great. So that was my big takeaway from this week in terms of movies. Well, I watched a few other things, but those were definitely the recent ones that jumped out. Oh, I watched the Minecraft movie because my friend put it on.
Yeah, how was that?
Shit, worst movie of the year.
Are you sure? We were discussing a movie I was watching yesterday.
I know. Comfortably the worst movie of the year because I watch it and I feel embarrassed for Jack Black the entire time.
Oof. What about Jason Momoa? Do you feel embarrassed for Jason
Momoa? I asked myself,
Lobo himself.
I was like, Jason Momoa has been in Dune. He's been in Game of Thrones,
Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter. I mean,
he's in. He's gonna be in Super
Girl.
Sorry, I was choking over here. He's in all these things, and I was like, why are you in this movie? I was like, what happened? So yeah, there's that. He's also in Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
So
Blanca.
clearly he just had the decision making of someone that doesn't care anymore. Because the fact that he's in that too tells me a lot.
Do Do you think think Blanca will beat up a car in that movie?
I don't know. Hiroki Goto looks great though.
Hiroki Goto. Yeah, I guess we can talk about the Street Fighter posters and pictures and everything because the trailer dropped last Thursday, I want to say. Hiroki Goto
He's like the only one not there too.
Yeah, I don't know why.
You gotta wrestle in World Tag League. More important things.
I don't know. That's a great point. I don't know why I thought Hiroki Goto wasn't going to look like a fat sumo wrestler. But the moment I saw the picture, I said, "What have you done to my man? My IWGP World Heavyweight Champion."
The same thing that New Japan did, not put him on the card. I have so many things to say about New Japan that wasn't even on the schedule today, but we'll get to them because we're going to talk about them. Yeah. I'm coming for their asses.
Oh boy. I should probably pull up the sports awards because I want to try because I saw who the winners were, but I want to see who it's not nominees, but like other votes, the voting body. Okay, I have it pulled up here. Perfect. Because I saw the best tag team award go to the Knockout Brothers, and I said they basically debuted as a tag team like 2-3 months ago. Yesterday. I was like, I don't necessarily disagree, but it is emblematic of, I think.
I would like to applaud are we just going to do the Tokyo Sports Awards first?
It feels like we're leaning into that.
Okay, cool. So I can just get into it. I would like to applaud All Japan for getting nothing. That felt like a real win. For me, obviously there's a lot of history to talk about, but the fact that I didn't know the Knockout Brothers won the tag, so that's kind of wicked funny. They're like, oh, we gotta give New Japan something. Sure, the Knockout Brothers were pretty cool. All right, sure.
I think if you want to give All Japan anything,
I don't.
They
I don't.
Were, again, I don't know. Nominated is not necessarily the word because it's by a vote. If you don't know the Tokyo Sports Award, this is the sort of kayfabe, Puro, Japanese Puro and Joshi award.
They're a big deal.
That happen every year. They're a big deal. It is hosted by, I guess, Tokyo Sports. They're a big deal. They're like the Oscars for that, the wrestling body puts on.
They get a lot more care and prestige from Japan as a whole than like the Observer Awards, for example, here in America. That's like the best comparison.
If the Slammies were actually taken seriously, does that make sense?
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's a reason Saya Kamitani in Stardom pretty much campaigned for better part of the year to get her the MVP award and such. Like this, there was a lot of care that went into it. Some people are probably gonna look at it like, all right, whatever, but I do think there's a lot to dissect, especially this year, in terms of a hopeful trend that begins. But yeah, they do matter a lot in Japan.
Well, and I think the other thing to speak about it is that it is voted on by a committee of I don't know how many people, but like 10 or so.
I know Kenta Kobashi's on it.
Yeah, Kenta Kobashi. It's like a lot of the the classic, a lot of the famous wrestlers of the old time. Whatever the voting body is. I mean, I guess you can see how the voting total shook out. I mean, was that 16, 7, 18, 19, potentially 20 people are probably on this voting body, would be my guess. So yeah, and then every year they go voted on it. Like we said, there is a kayfabe aspect to it. They tend to vote for like New Japan over like other places just because of that, the politicalness of it all. But this year is, I guess, in a way a little bit different because the most interesting news item that we'll go through is that the most valuable player award, which is the top prize of the Tokyo Sports, went to Saya Kamitani of Stardom. She got 11 votes. Down ballot was Hiroshi Tanahashi from New Japan with 5 votes, Ozawa with 2, Hiroki Goto with 1. And I don't know why it's listed here, but Konosuke Takeshita with 0.
I think they were the candidates. Like, I think that's how.
I'm thinking that as well now.
Or like everyone's on the table, but they're like, all right, who was the 5th? like
Yeah.
so we can post them, and Takeshita being the world champion, winning the G1, which is usually like the token to win this, by the way,
Yeah.
every year. I think he's done like historically the worst a New Japan IWGP World Champion / G1 winner has ever done.
Yeah. And even then, I could say that, like, well, he was just the champion. But again, see the Knockout Brothers beat winning tag team of the year.
Right. Like that's the perfect sign. And looking at the MVP, talking about the MVP, I mean, listen, I have had my, and I did a whole video about this,
Yeah.
looking at Saya's year before this, as in like right before this
It's
recording.
on YouTube right now.
Yeah. Because I think it's worth going into. And while there are highs and lows to her year in terms of not necessarily her fault, but the way Stardom went about it, I don't think there was even a question of who should be winning this award. She is the top star of the hottest company in Japan. And I would argue, and I said this on my recording, once January 4th passes and Hiroshi Tanahashi is retired, she is the most popular active wrestler in Japan right now.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that
literally,
is
literally, Tanahashi gets 5, and to be fair, I do think the Tanahashi votes are a little bit of like, one, he has had a really, I would say, a really great year for what his retirement year is, but also it is a little bit of like this is the last time we're voting for Tanahashi. We're gonna vote for Tanahashi.
Right.
But then and then after that is Ozawa with 2.
Yeah, this would have been a way more interesting vote if Ozawa doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, that's
Because
fair.
you're adding in the N1 victory most likely as well,
Yeah.
which would have been a big part of it. I think it would have been very close had he not been injured. But once he got injured, there was no one that should have taken this away from her. And I talked to a lot of people. There was a little fear that a New Japan person would swing in, giving Takeshita the G1 and the IWGP. That is usually a recipe to they're going to get votes. The voters did not get phased by that this year. This is not only the first woman to ever win this award in the 52-year history, by the way. It is also the first time since 2010 New Japan hasn't won the award, which I think is a perfect sense of where we are in the world of Japanese professional wrestling.
I do want to add, just real quickly, want to add to that. I did ask the Voice of Wrestling Hall of Fame Discord because I knew a lot of the historians would be in there. And I asked them of, like, obviously, first woman ever to win the Tokyo Sports MVP. Do we have the nominees / voting history to see if she was the first woman nominated? And everyone's like, off the top of my head, pretty sure she is. I've been John from Wrestling Omakase. I've been following the stuff since the early 2000s. I can't remember a woman being looked at as even a remotely serious contender to win, let alone be nominated. Ethan Tyler eventually says, I'm fairly certain women weren't even allowed to be nominated at one point in time, maybe pre-95. So they're like, if anything, maybe in the 90s. But so we're talking in the last 30 years.
Right. I mean,
possibly the only woman to have been nominated for MVP in the past 30 years, if not ever. And then obviously the historic thing of the first woman to ever win this MVP award.
The Ethan Tyler point's a very good one too, I think, because I mean, there is no doubt in my mind, like a Manami Toyota should have probably won in the 90s, like that's how big she was and how great she was and things like that. It's just a fascinating moment in time, and to pair that with Sari winning the Fighting Spirit, also being the first woman to win that, is massive. It's absolutely massive, and she's doing so as a freelancer. I know she worked for Stardom, but still, that is making waves. And to pair those two together, obviously you still have the Women's MVP award, but to finally break past just your one award that is, dedicated to just Joshi is a massive, massive deal. A massive deal that hopefully creates a trend. I said this on Twitter. The number one fear for me next year is the idea that they need to, and I put this in quotes, fix it, as in, give back to the New Japan winner or something like that. Because that had been my fear even after last year, just with the women's MVPs. Stardom didn't get it for the first time in a long time, and surely that was going to rile people up. And I don't think I don't want people to take this away in any way from Saya Kamitani, first off, because she absolutely earned it. She put in the work. She became a undeniable superstar. But to piece that with the fact that those both her and Sari won awards that have never been won by women before is a massive change that I hope means that women will continue to be considered in serious contention for these awards, because there's no reason they shouldn't, especially with the way Puro is now. There should not be a conversation in terms of, oh well, they can't be in here because there's no reason. There's no reason. I think we are finally seeing a massive change where Joshi has been way hotter than Puro from beginning to end. I think people are gonna like, not people like they maybe listen to this, but some people are gonna be like, "Well, New Japan sold out Wrestle Kingdom." Yeah, guess what, buddy? It's Tanahashi's retirement, and guess who's the first person they announced for that show, alongside the obvious Hiroshi Tanahashi and Olympic gold medalist Aaron Wolf, Saya Kamitani. So this was a great day for Joshi, a great day for Stardom, and a great day for Saya Kamitani. I will say this as well before I kind of just let you go. I did say this on my recording, but if there was supposed to be someone that like got a co-MVP here, Tam Nakano deserves a lot of credit for this becoming a true reality. Without her commitment to helping Saya and pushing Saya over the top and putting her career on the line and doing all she did at the beginning of the year, we never get here. When that All-Star Grand Queendom number came in, biggest crowd since, they were in the Tokyo Dome essentially, uh, you know, 3 decades ago. That was the start of this being real. So, and Saya said as much in her acceptance, and that's really cool. So it was a really, really cool day to see that all come together, and hopefully it's just the start of more appreciation, I think, from these voters year in and year out.
I'm looking to get the information as well, but as far as I can see, the list that I'm looking at of who the winners are, it does list that not only did Saya win the MVP award, she also won the Women's Pro Wrestling Grand Prize. But I
that's
do
the
not,
women's MVP.
but I do not see. I don't have it listed here. Who else was voted on for that award?
I don't think they even put it up because she won.
Yeah, that's. I wonder. I wonder if it was like
a default
all
thing.
the votes.
I'm sure it was. If she's winning the actual MVP, what is the debate?
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to keep looking around to see if I can find an answer to that. But as far as I can tell, she has obviously won the Women's Wrestling Grand Prize as well. But it could easily be that she was the only one voted on. In which case,
I'm guessing she was.
In which case, I don't know if ever that's happened. I'm not sure. I don't have all the data.
I mean, we've never had someone in the conversation for the regular, so that's probably a big part of it,
Exactly.
But obviously, very good for her, for Joshi. Like I said, I don't know who won the rest of the title prizes.
Well, don't worry, I'll give it to you momentarily. Well, yes, MVP.
The Naga brothers.
Yeah, MVP is obviously really strong there. Saya Kamitani get the win, along with the Women's Wrestling Grand Prize that we talked about. Saya Kamitani gets the win. Hiroshi Tanahashi at 5, Ozawa 2, Goto 1, Takeshita 0. Yeah, obviously, I think you're right that Ozawa. I think Ozawa, if he didn't get injured, if anything, he probably would have eaten out of Kamitani's 11. Still not enough to to make anything more interesting. If anything, maybe enough to get to.
I mean, it would have made it more interesting.
It certainly would have, but I
mean,
mean,
11. He got 2.
I don't know if Saya would have. I don't know if Saya would have dropped a ranking.
It could have been like 6.
That's true.
Like it could have been. It would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, that's certainly true. And then you'll see the sort of emblematic theming of these awards, but just New Japan not doing that well. I think
didn't deserve to.
I think New Japan only won 3 awards when typically they dominate all these awards outside obviously women's.
They didn't even get best bout.
They didn't even get best bout, which of course went to Kaito Kiyomiya versus Ozawa for the GHC Heavyweight Championship January 1st of this year. That got 9 points, 9 votes. Second up was Omega versus Gabe Kidd at January 5th, Tokyo Dome with 5 votes. Goto versus Zack Sabre Jr. for third with 2 points. That was in February 11th in Osaka. That was Goto winning, if I recall.
Yeah.
Then number 4 is Kento Miyahara versus Go Shiozaki for the Triple Crown title, October 22nd, which was very recently. Yes, All Japan, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but All Japan, I think, only got voted on in 2 categories, and this was one of them.
All Japan and Dragon Gate winless, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, Dragon Gate never wins these things, to be fair.
They've won stuff before.
Yeah,
through the years
could be true.
They've won a few of the fighting spirits.
That makes sense.
I was looking through the history today.
After Miyahara versus Shiozaki, we of course had Tam Nakano versus Saya Kamitani at April 27th.
That being Arena. Solo is crazy.
1 vote there, tied with Miyahara and Go Shiozaki. Really,
this was my mindset. Had they taken it from Saya, I think that would have got more votes.
Maybe
that's how this goes. There's a lot of political stuff too.
Of course, another 1 voter, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Danshuku Dino from DDT, and then another 0 vote one, Konosuke Takeshita versus Evil for the G1 Climax final. Obviously, my vote got lost in the mail. I don't know what happened there.
Takeshita's crushing it, dude. That's stop putting his name on here. I know he won an award, and it's the ultimate we feel bad.
What happened here, though, to be noted, is that there was no match that received a majority of votes. So runoff was held between Ozawa and Kento Kiyomiya's match versus Kenny and Gabe. And, of course, the results there was Kiyomiya and Ozawa getting 10, Kenny and Gabe getting 8. So, yeah, this sort of what we talked about a little bit with Ozawa getting 3rd in the MVP award. This is very emblematic of this is really Ozawa's award to a degree and Kaito to a degree. This is match of the year. I don't know the history. I don't have the history in front of me about when the last time it wasn't New Japan, but that also feels like
it wasn't that long ago.
Okay.
Because this award usually goes to more so memorable.
Sure.
So like New Japan and Noah have traded every other year since 2021.
Okay, that makes sense.
2021 was Go Shiozaki versus Keiji Muto. 2022 was Okada versus Will Ospreay. 23 was Muta versus Nakamura. 24 was Goto versus Suji, and then 25 was Kiyomiya versus Ozawa.
Copy that. Yeah, I mean, this is again emblematic of Noah having a strong year. I think the big thing about Noah with Ozawa to a certain degree is, as much shenanigans and stuff that they had, I feel like they had a decent, arguably a little bit better, maybe not spades above better, but a little bit better in-ring year as well. This is a little bit indicative of that. New Japan fighting for that next top spot with Omega and Kid, 2 people that one person doesn't work for the company and one person that has a foot out the door practically. Goto and Zack Sabre Jr. that's doing really well, but even then 2 points. That's the best New Japan match of the year, according to them.
I could have seen that winning. So I'm a little shocked. If they were ever going to win, they would have won that one.
Yeah, and then All Japan getting a spot here, Stardom also getting another spot here.
All Japan dedicating everything to Jun Saito this year for him not to even get nominated for MVP is awesome.
That's a great point. I guess is a good stopping point as we talk about these awards to talk about All Japan a little bit. All Japan only gets voted on here in the match of the year, and then they also get voted on for they were, I guess, part of the voting possibilities for the Titans of Calamity, the team of Rene Abe and Talos in All Japan. They got 0 votes. And that was the only other thing that they got nominated for. All Japan not getting nominated at all. In past years, they've done really well in fighting spirits, especially Kento Miyahara. This year for All Japan, they put all of their chips into the Saito bucket. So much so that look, for a long while we were all saying that it made sense for them to go it because he was extremely popular. It makes sense. All Japan was doing good business for a good stretch of the year, obviously. The problem, and I probably, I don't even know for certain right now, Scotty, but I imagine they're still doing fairly decent business. The problem is it became a point where it became so boring that everyone, even Puro fans, even Puro wrestlers decided All Japan, I'm not bothering watching All Japan this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone gave up.
I think so. And there wasn't, and that's the thing. I don't think there was a big reason. Like I could see a big reason with All Japan, with giving up on All Japan is like the NWA flirtations, the Nakajima stuff that went down, like that as being a big breaking point maybe for some people. This wasn't a breaking point. This was just a malaise that people just experienced in real time and slowly. I mean, you, me, everyone, for most people that I know about that watched All Japan or very much in the past, it just was one of the things that fell off because it was like
I might have watched one All Japan match this year.
Yeah, nothing was exciting people this year from All Japan, and maybe it's because Jun Saito as a wrestler. Maybe he doesn't excite a lot of people. That's totally fair. Or maybe it was just the super long title reign. And you're just like, I want
a lot of
something else.
complaints about Jun Saito.
Well, go ahead.
I remember. No, not from me. I don't give a shit. No, a lot of complaints like from people that like All Japan. I used to see when he was champion. Like, what are we doing? Why is he still champion? I mean, I remember coming on the show and like, why is he the Triple Crown? Yeah, I don't know. It's
it's
kind of a dire company.
I think it's a conversation point that you and I will have perhaps at our year-end conversation, Scotty. About what do you determine as a successful company?
I mean, the Go Shiozaki Kento match at 1,322 at Korakuen, which isn't too bad. But it's not a sellout.
No.
Which I feel like they were doing earlier in the year or last year at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a successful company? One that does great numbers and great business, or one that is exciting? What is, or both? Is it what
there is like,
it's a balance to all of these things, I guess.
There is, yeah.
But I'm sure we'll talk about that more later.
Pour one out for All Japan.
Best Tag Team Award, Knockout Brothers, Yuto Ice and Oscar from New Japan. Obviously, they got 11 votes. Second up was Team 200 kg, Hashimoto and Yu. Then you have Yuka Kamafuku and Wakana Uehara with 3 votes. Then Titans of Calamity got 0. So yes, again, what I already said earlier, Joshi all over this place, but really the Knockout Brothers getting 11. It's kind of what we talked about earlier. They popped up in the scene in the fall of this year, and they obviously exploded onto the scene, I would say, especially Yuto Ice. He's jumping off the page, this guy.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about it lately of like this tag team of the year conversations. New Japan obviously winning the tag team award here for the Tokyo Sports Award is something, but with a team that has only been around for a couple of months, really.
Yeah, I felt like we had to throw a bone, like that's kind of where it felt at that point, because it's like the ultimate sign of that, honestly. There's no better sign of it than like, oh, they've been here since fall. They won the tag belts. They made some noise. All right, here you go. Like, and you're winning an award that I think a section in Japan is pretty weak this year, anyways, in terms of like.
Name me another tag team that stood out this year, in Puro at the very least.
In Puro, couldn't try. I couldn't even try. Let me see who my highest Puro tag team of the year is.
Dragonbane, Alpha Wolf are always contenders in my brain, but I don't remember. They were like gone from Noah for a good while.
I know Dragon Gate had a great team. Jackie Kamai and Rita, I think is his name.
Yeah.
That's probably the only one, because I've just seen a lot of praise for them every time they seemingly. But I think they only won the belts recently too, so it's not even like they had a full-on chance. I think that's a part of the problem too. A lot of the tag teams either don't get long runs or weren't formed or like things like that. So it's hard to argue against the Knockout Brothers, because listen, they weren't going to give Joshi another award. 3 is an all-time win for all of us. Okay, here. the fact that they were the runners up, though, still a good thing to see, especially when like we've been saying, this is more the story here is more New Japan needed a win.
I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you.
That wasn't going to be Tanahashi, I should say.
Yeah. The knockout tag team division, tag team wrestling in Japan as a whole has been really lackluster. I mean, really,
I think tag team wrestling in the world is pretty lackluster.
It's been like lackluster for a little bit now.
Yeah.
But like looking at Japan specifically here, New Japan having the team who did obviously nothing to take away from them, exploded onto the scene, made a major impact here. But they're a team that's only been around for a couple months. The next stop down there is a no offense to Hashimoto and you, but like the next stop down is a Sendai Girls, not Stardom, not Marigold, who I don't think even got nominated anywhere. They're a Sendai Girls, small level.
They had a future. They had none newcomer.
Small level Joshi thing, and then you had Tokyo Joshi Pro, and that's pretty much it. Where no other New Japan team, no Noah teams. I guess really no All Japan teams, no Stardom teams, right. No Marigold team, like nothing else in tag team wrestling at all is represented here. It's really like you could say whatever you want about the rest of the globe, obviously, and we will at some point, but it's really dire in New Japan. Where look, and I think to a certain extent, Scotty, to speaking to the Knockout Brothers, maybe one of the reasons they had such an impact this year on the tag team scene and such an impact in New Japan is because maybe there's an argument that fandom was dying to see an interesting tag team because there was obviously nothing all year.
How did New Japan answer that? Kept them off the Wrestle Kingdom card. This Wrestle Kingdom card
next year's problem, I guess.
I can't wait till next year. This Wrestle Kingdom card is the ideal definition of how poorly run New Japan Pro Wrestling is.
Hey, well, save the takes, Scotty. Save the takes.
For when?
Well, we preview Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, but like I'll get there then. But like, look at this card. It's miserable. It's a miserable card.
Well, we went over it before. We had like some praise for it.
It's worse now though because it's finished.
Okay. Now I gotta pull it up.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Turns out when you pull up WK 2026, it gets you to the FIFA World Cup for some reason.
Which, by the way, Shuri and Saya Kamitani got slotted to number 2. So as much as she's the MVP, as much as all this, still won't move them up the card.
Yeah, I guess it's locked.
It's official. They locked it in.
All right, so let's see. We got Tanahashi Okada. I think that's great.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Takeshita versus Tsuji. I'm down. Winner take all. Whatever. It's weird. Whatever.
I forgot those winner take all.
We've already discussed the double gold dash.
Double gold dash.
Evil versus Aaron Wolf. You and I think that could be very fun. I think that's right up around.
Yeah, it's a draw of a match. I will give them that.
El Desperado, Fujita, Ishimori, and Sho in a 4-way to determine the number 1 contender for IWGP Junior Heavyweight title is a bonkers ass match that I really don't care. Who is even the IWGP Junior Heavyweight? Doki. I wonder if Despy is going to win this match and they're going to go straight and do the match right then and there because it's
like the tag,
not the tag, then to do Despy versus Doki for the title right then and there on Wrestle Kingdom because it got canceled for all intents and purposes after Doki's injury last year at Wrestle Kingdom. But who the heck knows? A 10-man tag team match. Oh, what? Okay. David Finlay, Gabe Kidd, Drilla Maloney, Shingo Takagi, Hiromu versus Callum Newman, Great Khan, Hanari, and 2 TBAs.
Why is this a match? Why is this a match?
Well, yeah, why is this a match on my Wrestle Kingdom?
This one stinks.
I assume the 2 TBDs are new United Empire members. That's fine.
I guess.
I don't know who it could be, but sure.
Why is United Empire on this card over Hiroki Goto, over Zack Sabre Jr., over the Knockout Brothers?
Mm-hmm. The Knockout Brothers not being on here at all is fascinating. Unless
they're
the TBDs.
They're the New Year's Dash main event, by the way.
Which is something, but it's not Wrestle Kingdom.
It's not Wrestle Kingdom. And listen, I know why this card's shorter. It's on TV, and they have to limit the time and everything.
Yeah.
But my God.
I know.
By the way, Yu Uemura, not here. Ryo Heiwa, not here. Shota Umino, not here. we know how we feel about Shota Umino, but still the point stands.
Exactly.
The future of the company, outside of Yota Tsuji, not here.
Do we know if this entire card is on
It's
TV?
set. Oh, it's not.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Because I'm looking at the tag team match, I'm looking at the women's match being so high up, and I'm like, is that for the crowd or is that for TV?
They're not on TV.
Yeah,
they're on. Yeah. Why? Part of the reason you put her on the card,
sell tickets,
was to sell tickets and bring attention, and yet, I'm guessing the last 3 matches are the loss.
I would say maybe the last 4.
Probably 4.
You know, I would say the cutoff is the 10-man tag, which if you think about it that way, it makes more sense, but it's still dumb. But it is, you know, they're serving the master that is television. So to a degree of all of this, I get it.
The opening match being a match that's it's a Rambo 6-man.
Well, real quickly. So we got Saya Kamitani versus Shuri. Again, double goal dash. That match should rule. Even if hopefully it gets more than 10 minutes, but I won't.
Right. So the time they have to be is 8:46.
Okay. I think they could. Well, what's interesting is the TV show has to be shorter, but if only half the card
have to be done by a certain time.
If only half the card is going to be on TV, then do the rest of these matches, can they go a little bit longer?
I don't know. It's a shorter card than usual, so I'd like to think yes.
Yeah, me too. And then the opener, what we have here.
At least this one. I actually don't care about the random tags. They don't have to be.
Yeah. And then the opener, again, I don't know if there's also going to be pre-show matches. They typically announce that at this point.
I think this is it.
A 6-man tag team Rambo. What? For the never openweight 6-man tag titles, Toriyano, Master Wato, and Yo, a team I could not care less about.
Those are champs, baby.
Master Wato was the only people that are like doing something for me at this point, which at one point in time, not at all. Versus, I'm sorry, Kaisei Takechi, which is
that's the newcomer of the year winner, by the way.
That is interesting. He is a J-pop artist.
He's DDT's wrestler, by the way.
I was just about to say, is this DDT's J-pop guy?
Yes. He has to be part of it. They're going to try to steal.
Fascinating. And then 2 other TBA participants. And then, so is the Rambo, like, it's 6-man tag team, and then these are the 2 teams that are announced so far, and we're going to get more?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whatever. It's a Rambo.
It's still bad, though.
Rambos have always been bad. That's the
I know that.
That's the charm of the Rambos.
But like, this is how you're gonna get Yuya Uemura on the show.
I don't think this card is as bad as what you're saying here, Scotty. It's not great. I'm not saying it's
not exciting to me because after this, use this as the discussion point. The day after tomorrow, which is the show.
Yeah.
1 half of each of the big 2 matches will not be here. I mean, Takeshita might, but who cares?
Yeah.
He's like kind of there. Actually, the full main event won't be there. What am I kidding?
Great point. Yes.
The full main event won't be there.
Yeah.
So like you got Yota Tsuji. We're putting a lot of weight on Aaron Wolf being good.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
He has to deliver.
And they have shown no care for the junior title forever. So that's my big problem. There's a, I don't know, it just feels like it's missing. Like my problem is
it's missing a something for the future, which is really just on Aaron Wolf at this point.
Right. Like it showcases to me the problem with New Japan Pro Wrestling after January 4th.
Yeah.
In full force.
It is. Look, it's not great. I think more than anything, why you feel that way, Scotty, why people probably feel that way is there's a massive lack of confidence in New Japan after this year, especially, let alone the past several years. But if you want to look at half full, right, instead of half empty for a second, what it does leave is a massive, wide open door for anyone to just do anything.
That's true.
Someone has to break out because there is a massive.
We've been saying that for 2 years, but that's true.
I know. We've been saying it for a while, but now it's happening. Now it exists.
Another thing I just feel the need to point out: there are 7 matches on this card, right?
Yeah.
4 of them have people that don't work for this company.
Radical dog. Wait till the Rambo. You get more.
And one of them have a guy that's never wrestled.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the 10-man tag that no one cares about, and a junior tag, which will be fun, I'm sure. But I don't know. It just lacks heart, lacks care.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's tough. It's tough.
Back to the Tokyo Sports Outstanding Performance Award went to Konosuke Takeshita with 8 votes. He tied with Ozawa, went to a runoff where Takeshita won over Ozawa by 10-9, and then Hiroshi Tanahashi also got 3 votes as well. So Takeshita and Ozawa, pretty significant between that tie between Takeshita and Ozawa. Outside of that, we
the
also
guy they have as the world champion going into the Hiroshi Tanahashi sold out show. By the way,
who could lose the title. By the way, good
before then.
No, Fighting Spirit Award. This is sort of like the award that goes to like the best little guy. It's typically been like the Kento Miyahara Award.
Yeah, it's usually like the Kento. I think Kaito won last. Yeah, Kaito, Keno, last 2 years.
Suri won it this year. Obviously, Suri won the Women's Wrestling Grand Prix last year. Suri got 6 votes. Hiromu Takahashi got 5. Ozawa 4. Hiroshi Tanahashi 3. And then Shun Skywalker 1.
Okay. Shun Skywalker out of nowhere. Oh, I didn't hear Madoka Kakuta. Who could have saw that coming?
Technique Award. Hiroshi Tanahashi got the win here.
They're going to give him something eventually.
What's interesting about that is that Ozawa did place first with 6 votes. Tanahashi 5. Hiromu with 5. Then there was a runoff where Tanahashi won the runoff between Hiromu and Hiroshi Tanahashi won the runoff between him and Hiromu.
That's the same bullshit that happened last year. I don't know if you remember this. You probably don't. This happened with the Fighting Spirit Award because Mayu actually had more votes than Kaito by 1. And then they're like, all right, second vote. And everyone's like, what?
So they figured out who got third, and then it became between Ozawa and Tanahashi for first, even though Ozawa got 1 more vote, but not a majority. Tanahashi then got 12 votes to Ozawa's 6.
That's ridiculous, man. I don't like that.
So Hiromu is basically Hiromu split the votes, and when the votes got freed up, everyone just voted for Hiroshi Tanahashi. Politics. Shun Skywalker got 1. Minoru Suzuki got 1. Kirishio Tokyo Japan. What? 1. Excuse me?
Those last 2 are like, huh?
They're still around? But yeah, look, if you want to say anything, and this is probably a point to say this, the one thing very obviously that New Japan had this going for them this year was the success of Hiroshi Tanahashi's retirement tour. You can't deny that it's been successful in ring, out of the public, box office.
I actually will deny it. Attendance was down this year.
Sure.
Through the entire thing. So like it wasn't a necessary success.
Yes, but I would say to that is, what is Tanahashi working with surrounding him? The fact that like his retirement show
that proves it's bad though.
Well, I don't think it proves that he was the bad part. I think that
not him. New Japan's handling of it in terms of making people around him while it's going on. Like people are going to see Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yes, we're saying
yourselves.
We're ultimately saying the same thing of that New Japan surrounding outside of Tanahashi. If you remove Tanahashi out of the equation, you and I can probably imagine that the business would have been way more down this year.
Right.
That Tanahashi to a degree was holding it up by a float. Not enough to be, to be up, but enough
when business was up this year, it wasn't because of him, it was because of Goto.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very
good
point
too.
As well. But again, Goto also wasn't around this year that much because of he's putting on a fat suit.
Well, he missed 3 months.
I know. Well, it took him a month to put the fat suit on. It took him a month to get it off. He had to do a bunch of baseball games. That's a fun specific for all of our baseball fans out there. But ultimately it's like, and then obviously, being an extremely financial box office success with Wrestle Kingdom. I guess what we can agree or disagree, Scotty, is that like business was down this year. I don't necessarily would say that his retirement year was a complete failure or what anything like that, especially with the success of Wrestle
Oh,
Kingdom.
it's absolutely not a failure. I
It's
don't mean to
more
call it.
so that business was still down despite that, because the rest of the promotion was stinky poo poo. Moving right along, newcomer award, Kaisei Takechi, the J-pop guy, from DDT, 10 votes. Victoria Yuzuki and Marigold for 3. Daiki Yotoshima and Noah for 3. Daiki Nagai and New Japan for 2. And Jiro Shimbashi from Dragon Gate with 1.
That means Victoria Yuzuki won. Takechi's a J-pop star that wrestles like once a month at best.
Yeah, so and then
I saw someone call him Mr. Roman Reigns of Japan. I was like, that's freaking hilarious.
There's also the topic of the year award. Who that fuck gives any shits?
Oh, that's the one. Okay, I don't know what that is for. Last year, I remember they gave Mayu, Bull, and Dump that because of like, I don't remember why Bull got it, but Dump got it because of the TV show. Mayu got it because of the movie. Yeah, it's just it's
oh, whatever.
It's
I don't care.
So it came back last year, by the way. It was gone for like 18 years.
Send it back away. So yeah, that is the Tokyo Sports Awards. I think they're a very fascinating, indicative thing about how Japan itself feels about its own wrestling this year. I think obviously Saya Kamitani and Stardom had a massive, great year centered around Saya Kamitani. Joshi had a good showing, which makes sense.
They're nominating like almost everything.
Pretty much. And then outside of Tanahashi, and to a smaller degree Hiromu, New Japan, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I got the Knockout Brothers.
And of course,
which is like kind of worse, actually.
Yeah, it's indicative that, to me, that's indicative of tag team wrestling being the worst garbage this year for Japan that we've ever seen. But people are excited for World Tag League. Anyways,
people were excited for World Tag League.
Let's talk about John Cena's final match. As we've already gone 48 minutes on Tokyo Sports, we'll do the rest of our time for John Cena's final match, I'm sure. Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final match, was the co-subtitle. This was in Washington, D.C. in front of 19,274 people on Peacock. It was an interesting show, obviously centered around John Cena's retirement in the main event. It did have a little bit of the energy. I don't know if you had the same thought, Scotty, where it became pretty obvious that the audience was kind of just waiting for John Cena's last match.
Yeah.
You felt it for sure, which is fine. I think we all sort of, maybe that's a conversation of why they thought about opening the show with John Cena's last match.
That would have been worse.
That would have been with how the finish went down. 100% would have been worse. But yeah, ultimately, I think the show itself is like, it's pretty fine. And then the big talking point, of course, is the actual Cena match. So before we get to the Cena match, just real quickly knock it off the book, Scotty. Any thoughts on Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi, Sol Ruka versus Bailey, or AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defeating Javon Evans and Leon Slater?
I can give you all three real quick. They're bitches for the first match. That was my takeaway. I was at a party for this, or I was like, this sucks. You guys suck. Let them fight.
I'll say bitches for the first one. Bitching for the second one.
Bailey and Sol Ruka did a good job. And
not like a great match, but like a nice little match, and then a really fun tag match.
Yeah, like that was the perfect match for the show, the tag match. Like, honestly, I think the other two were perfect. It's just like they did Cody versus Obafemi. It's like, you guys could have just like did Cody versus non-NXT champion, had a real match. Like, no one would have batted an eye. No one would have been like, you morons.
This is like, it was like it was 3-star General Cody out here with a guy that is brand new at working, and they're working.
Yeah. Like they were having a very basic match.
It's also, I was going to say big man to little man, but like they stared eye to eye at each other. Yeah, that immediately for me took away a lot of Obafemi like isms.
Yeah, Obafemi feels humongous because he usually wrestles just smaller people, and then like
plus his entrance is him, the worm-eyed view lens or whatever. Looking at him jolly down the ring,
hitting him that entrance. That was the best part of the match.
Oh yeah.
He does have a star power to him. I will give him that.
Yes.
He also punked Drew McIntyre, which is really funny. So
yeah, going to
I don't know
no
why I feel
contest
the
is
need to make fun of Drew McIntyre at all times these days.
It's easy. He's a good punching bag.
I said I
Going
feel
to
the
no
need to. I don't know why.
going to a no contest is a bitch move. Sol Ruka Bailey, nice little match. Nothing offensive here. Just a nice little match.
Good professional match. Get Sol Ruka over. She's clearly a budding star for them. Yeah.
And then I think that just the tag match was a great high spot fest, basically.
Yeah, Javon Evans
coming from
awesome.
Slater and Evans.
And Slater, awesome. I was watching this. I was like, man, they should probably just give them the tag belts. And I was like, wait a minute. One of you don't work here.
Well, just you wait. Just you wait. Just you wait for.
We'll see you in September or whatever.
See you at Halloween Havoc in NXT next year. So get excited. All right.
Before you say that, I remember when I said the Osprey at All In was like the most egregious sign of poaching of all time. WWE has topped that with Leon Slater. I applaud them.
What about Joe Hendry? Joe Hendry?
I mean, you can poach Joe Hendry. I don't care.
Definitely super obvious poaching.
Sure.
Super obvious poaching with Joe Hendry, but it was also I don't give a shit.
When he appeared on the show, so I'm with people that like Joe Hendry. I was like, fuck you. Like, this sucks.
You know how upset I am when we have the Miz come out, then we have R-Truth. R-Truth, a guy
when Miz was in gear, by the way, I was like, no, please don't do this to me.
Please don't do this to me. R-Truth comes out and does a comedy spot. This guy did a whole comedy thing earlier this year, then got fired. Everyone got upset about it. The company had to scramble, got Nick Khan on the horn to go give a call to fucking Ron Killings to give him a call back. He comes back, shaves his head, becomes all serious for, 2 weeks. And now he's back doing the same old shtick. This guy, you and I, when he got fired, Scotty, were like, oh, put him with the demand. Him and Ricochet, that's a cool vibe.
That's true.
You know, him healing up would be a great vibe for our AEW. He would be great there.
Yeah.
And fucking back doing the same old slop. But the Merriam-Webster definition of the word of the year, slop. Garbage WWE slop. And then fucking Joe Hendry shows up. You live however many miles away from me.
I heard you.
But I know you heard me groan when I saw Joe Hendry's name.
So I do want to say this. I do want to say this. But R-Truth, I applaud him. Like, he's like, I'm gonna act all serious. Then they bring him back. He's like, yeah, never mind. He's like, you're gonna pay me a shit ton of money to do nothing. All right. He's like, I that's why I kept doing my job in the first place, and now I'm back. This company, Anyways,
main event: Gunther
Miz,
versus
Joe
John
Hendry
Cena.
and R-Truth in the year 2025. Continue.
Well, look, I guess we had to eat our garbage slop before we got to the main event. That was the idea.
It was an unnecessary segment. No, everyone's there for John, and they're like, "What if we all Joe Hendry?"
So indicative of the creative of this company is like everyone, everyone is waiting
with AI.
This was 100% written by AI. That's a great point, Scotty. As I said earlier, this show was building up to the main event, the retirement match of John Cena. Everyone's waiting. We have the 3 matches end. And you're like, okay, great. Next up is John Cena. And then fucking Miz, R-Truth, and Joe Hendry do a comedy segment.
Oh, and the other thing, if they went to Joe
here, dude.
If they went to Joe Tessitore and Stephanie McMahon one more time, I think I was gonna lose it. I was this close to never seeing the main event because I was gonna.
I just want to see John Cena and Gunther in a match that look, 123 minutes. That should have been, to my opinion, 5 minutes longer. That you could have cut out the Joe Hendry segment. That you could have added to the match, and I would have enjoyed the match a little bit more. Because what the fuck are we doing over here?
Damn I still haven't figured out why it was on there. Besides, John must have been like, Joe Hendry's pretty cool. That's fine. It's
because they like him, and John Cena likes him. I saw a video of John Cena it was
a nice video.
Seeing a 3-time kid. Not 3-time kid. A kid that has won the award for kid 3 times. He's a cancer survivor who survived cancer 3 times. John Cena did a Make-A-Wish with him that day, and he talked about he's like I'm no Joe Hendry. I was Joe Hendry before him, which tells me that like look, John Cena likes Joe Hendry a lot, likes the shtick. Yeah. That's why he did a spot. Yeah. Do I want to see it on his card? No.
Right.
No.
That was a nice. That was a really nice video. But yeah, we're in agreement there.
Main event. Gunther versus John Cena, 23 minutes. Gunther defeats John Cena by tap out. Not by passing out or any other way. John Cena officially taps out. Gives a little smirk, gives a little smile to the crowd, much like he gave one to The Rock many moons ago. Or no, did he smile? I think he just went stone faced. He did the opposite. That's interesting. Is that something? And then John Cena tapped out. Gunther celebrates. The crowd was in shock.
You don't have to get booked by Triple H anymore. Continue.
Gunther, the crowd is in shock. John Cena sitting there. The crowd prominently starts booing. And then we get all that stuff. Before we get to all the rest of that stuff, Scotty, we got to talk about the match.
I also put career retrospective, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about it as much as we can. Let's talk about the match itself. Well, I don't know. Do we talk about the match itself? I feel like we have to include the reactions to the match, discussing the match.
Yeah.
So the reactions are crowd in shock. Gunther leaves.
Pissed.
Some booing. Some booing on Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther more so got it after the show.
Yeah.
The shock was more like
it was more of a shock to the system. On Gunther. John Cena sitting in the ring. The crowd starts booing him. Maybe not him, but booing.
It was more like, by the time like he got to his senses, Triple H was walking down to the ring, and they were like, "Oh, this guy stinks."
But he starts booing. Triple H stops, looks around, and be like, "Uh-oh." Yeah. And then they all get into the ring. They do a little bit quiet little thing where they have them, Cody and CM Punk give John the championships. He walks around with them.
You for not bringing out the spinner belt, you morons! You absolute morons!
Fully agree.
I was like, you all made a special spinner belt for this guy every town he went to, and you couldn't bring him out one normal spinner belt. You bums!
One last spin of the belt. You couldn't have done that for me. You brought back the winged eagle, but at a time where everyone wants to see that spinner belt. Anyways, exactly. Then they go.
And it was a fake winged eagle.
Then they go, he hugged Triple H, the crowd immediately boos.
Yeah.
Because it's very obvious that the boos are directed towards the finish of the match. The finish of the match being that, this idea of John Cena is never going to quit. It's a match where it starts becoming the attitude adjustment versus the sleeper. John Cena, starts doing a spot that they don't feel like they've done in a very long time.
Oh my God. My pop of the year, by the way. I have forever loved that spot since I was a kid. And
the three arm test. Me too.
I'm like, and I say it to my friend. I was like, I feel like John might do that. Like when he's in the submission, I was like, if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be John, because that's what he used to do. And the moment they started doing it, me and my friend yelled.
Yeah,
we were like, yes.
I think it's a legitimately great babyface spot, and I don't. I mean, obviously, one of the reasons they stopped it is they wanted to make it more real, especially if MMA. With concussion protocol stuff, they want to make all this stuff more real. It's wrestling. I think you can make it fake, and who gives a shit? Because it's like we all want to buy into what's happening, and so I think you could do that in wrestling. They just got rid of it, but they do it on the third one. You get the John Cena. I don't know the John Cena.
It's an okay sign, but I don't know what
his okay sign. The thing where he wants to where you do it below
the
belt and show the circle.
Either way, I was fired up. Yeah.
He does that big fire up, crowd explodes, and then Gunther immediately does the sleeper hold a little bit more, and then John Cena
got one more AA.
No, not one more A. Gunther just does another like restraining thing on the sleeper.
Okay, yeah.
John falls
the
back.
came before it.
Then he does this big dumb stupid grin and taps out. Crowd really, really did not like this, and they knew who to direct their hatred at. Wasn't Gunther, as much as Bully Ray would like you to believe. It was fully Triple H, fully Paul Levesque. The crowd knew who to boo, and they booed the shit out of him. And then John Cena took off his shoes, took off his band.
I wanted the jorts off.
Everyone wanted the jorts off. And then John Cena walked out. And they also missed a Stu camera spot, which was very funny at the very beginning of the match.
Yeah, they did.
That was just like, again, indicative of this company.
Cody cried his eyes out, you know.
Cody cried his eyes out and then did the classic
usual.
like thing of, this is an important moment, so I'm going to stay in the ring forever until everyone leaves.
I missed the only thing we didn't get in the Cody thing is when he did. I always remember the AEW thing. He's like,
yeah, he shakes his head. He's trying to fight off the tears. We also got a video package as well, which showed John Cena's time
life
through WWE, his life through WWE.
This is your life.
Did get a Vince McMahon appearance in that video, the only Vince McMahon appearance of the entire show. John Cena only reacted to the Vince McMahon appearance of the video.
He was probably
that's not ideal, I guess.
No.
But yeah, so the match we can obviously talk about, but the big talking point here is the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
They hated it. Scotty, what was your take? What do you think about the match? And do you think the crowd deserves to boo, I guess, Triple H?
I mean, first off, I think the crowd deserves to boo Triple H, no matter what the result was. He has earned that one. So I have a lot of thoughts about this match, about this show, about the Cena retirement tour, pretty much everything. But, and this will be maybe my burning hot take of the day. I don't really care. I adore the match.
Really?
I legitimately adore this match because I felt like I was back to being a kid again for every step of the way. And to me, this match, from what I remember when I was younger and I watched John Cena face the big bully, face the big monster, this was
the Umaga matches, the
Umaga, the freaking
JBL matches.
JBL matches. This was it. This was it. I watched John Cena one final time be John Cena. And people can be mad all they want, understandably so, because you've lived your life with Super Cena. You've lived your life with someone who always fights through and comes back. And you can ask the people around me as I was watching. I have not been so into a match all year. Truthfully, outside of like some Joshi matches, I was just transported back from the entrance and on. The entrance gave me goosebumps. Just the way though they should have played Word Life first, but I digress. I needed some sort of Word Life. This match to me,
you play Word Life when they're bringing the spinner down to the ring.
Of course. This match to me, I'm gonna try to word this correctly so I don't get people mad at me. To me, showed me in the fullest form what pro wrestling should be. It should make people feel emotion.
Yeah.
At all times. Whether it be anger, whether it be happiness, and the people were on the edge of their seats from start to finish. And to me, and this is something I've been feeling for a long time recently, and it really came out when I got the reaction from people after this match saying, "Oh, I didn't like it," yourself included. And these things, and this, I have to be careful with this. I think work rate has broken people's brains.
Yeah, I do agree.
This was my big take watching this match and loving it. And this has been more of a building point, and then I got to here because this is not a work rate match. This is a...
Can I put a quick caveat? I think it's work rate breaking people's brains is like emblematic of us focusing on the Dave Meltzer star system way too much.
Yes, absolutely. Like for me, and I don't want to just bring one company into it. It's not just AEW.
Yeah.
They're just like the big dogs, of course, of Meltzer's rating these days. So that's part of it.
And I would say, I think you would
right.
And at least when it comes to American wrestling, the best in-ring company,
Sure. But to me, I saw a lot of people like talking about the best matches from last week. People love Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Love it. You were there, so that's different. I'm not gonna get mad at you for it. You were in the building. That's a different sensation. That's a different
I popped from my chair.
Right, like I understand that. But like I watched it. I wasn't that enthused by it, watching it on screen. And then I watched this match and I adored everything about it. I loved everything about it. And then I saw like the reaction. I was like, huh, interesting. And that was when I think fully came to front. Like, I think I just see wrestling very differently now than I even did a year ago or 2 years ago. For me, I need to be emotional in watching a match for it to be top tier for me. That's why, like, I'm not mad at someone who may have not liked this match, especially that maybe got into wrestling the past couple of years or back into wrestling. If you didn't grow up on John Cena, like I did, like others did, I don't think this is going to hit for you the same way it hit for me. I just don't. And I think that's why I can't get mad at anyone because I understand not everyone grew up on John Cena, but I did. And other people that I've talked to who grew up on John Cena, they're like, yeah, that was amazing. They may not love the finish. That's a different debate point altogether. But for me, it was like watching John Cena one truly, as I hoped for, one final time be John Cena. And here's maybe my biggest hot take of the whole thing. I loved the finish because to me, it was John Cena saying, I can't be John Cena anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if he made the decision that it felt very John Cena to hit the smile and tap. I'm sure like Triple H made the decision, hey, Gunther's winning. And John's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, and people that are getting mad at that, I understand it.
And
like,
anyone that thought that John Cena should win this is, crazy. I would say, wrong.
Yeah, like no part of me.
There's an argument that in the room that it should have gone the other way, but I do think that's partly in hindsight. But my point, and I'll talk about this a little bit more, is that like I think that this finish still could have worked if the match was constructed a little bit differently.
Sure, and I think for me it was different because, again, the moment he's in that chokehold, I am sitting there, my heart is thumping out of my chest because I'm prepared for this. We talked about it. I was like, I'm pretty sure he'll tap. I'm pretty sure this is how we end it. He can't choke out. This is how it has to happen. And I'm sitting there, and every time, the one time he gets up and hits the AA, I'm like, fuck yeah. And then when he does the three-time hand thing, I'm like, fuck yeah. To me, for some people, either it's a mix. It's either you didn't grow up on John, so this isn't going to hit for you just as strongly as it's going to hit for me. Fine. Or it's the I think people watch wrestling just so vastly different from me now because it is so like, and we're all analytical. I spend the entire show being analytical. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think just losing yourself in the match, especially if you're in the moment. Exactly. Trademark the truth. Where was he, by the way? Where was he? Where was he?
He was hanging out with Joe Hendry.
Oh, okay. No, not R-Truth. Whatever.
I will say this, Scotty. I don't necessarily agree that like this is a new revelation where your best matches are ones you're emotionally connected to. It's always been the case with you.
I absolutely. But this one felt a little extra for me because it was me watching John retire. So like,
it's not only like you watching a childhood arguable hero, not to put words in your mouth, but I would imagine hero. But also like to a degree of like, look of where you live. You have it's not just like a personal connection like you grew up watching this guy. It's the thing of like, this is a guy that's from your basically hometown. One of the reasons I like Biggest Dave so much is because he's from DC.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That is why one of the reasons why as a kid I connected with Biggest Dave a lot is because of that.
There is a different level of connection that I think we all have to certain wrestlers. And for me, for John, he's the reason I got into wrestling. He's from here for me. He is just, and I said this on Twitter and people might call me crazy. I think I said it last week too. But like when I was a kid, it was Tom Brady, David Ortiz, John Cena.
Yeah.
That was it. I've watched the other two retire.
You peaked.
I've watched the other two retire. from my childhood. I had John Cena left. So for me, this match could have ended in 5 minutes. I would have been emotionally invested. This match could have went 60. I would have gave up. But my point is, I think for me, this was, again, for me, the ultimate John Cena goodbye, because I actually wanted it to end like this. I didn't want him to win. I wanted the last spurt. I got it, the AA, and it was like, he just doesn't have it anymore. Which, by the way, WWE has been booking him like not just this year, but for years. They've been trying to tell you for years, John doesn't have it anymore. But he gave everything he had. And when I watched him say farewell and goodbye, I was emotionally distraught. I sat there and Ryan, this was my face the entire time when he tapped out, knowing he was going to tap out. I just sat there like,
you were in shock as well.
I was in shock because it was over.
Yeah.
Like, it was over. Like, it was one of those things I held on to. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say John Cena is the perfect person. I know he is not. He has many faults, but childhood favorite goes a long way for me. It's something that, I was going to come on here and be like, AEW ruins people. No, I'm not going to do that, because I know John Cena means more to me than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not everyone. I trust me. I saw how much John Cena means this to people this weekend, which was really cool. And I have other takes about John Cena after, but that was my feelings towards the match. It's one of my favorite matches of the year. It's the best WWE match I have seen in eons, because it's the first WWE match that made me feel something in so long. If you aren't connected, I get it. If you hate the finish, I get it. But honestly, it was all I could ask for outside of like one or two things that I'll critique. But emotionally, and that's, like you said, that's always been something for me. I like matches more that I'm emotionally drawn into rather than the move spectacle. I don't know what to call that anymore. But like, it's different for me now. And I think this was the ultimate, like, this is where I am. To me, this was John Cena. And I've had other John Cena fans a very long time feel the same way. And that's kind of how I feel it. Ryan, I'm going to let you take it now, because I know that you did not feel the same, which is fine. Hey, that's the beauty of Ring Post Radio. After all, we disagree on a lot despite agreeing on a lot. So, well, I'll leave it to you, and I'm not going to cut in.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you in a whole lot of ways there. I think in the execution is my big thing. Look, I'm not disagreeing at all with the finish. As I said, I think if you thought that John Cena was going to win this one, you're crazy. Because look, I can point to two very much, this is John Cena's creative ideas as to this past year. And that is this match against Gunther.
Yeah.
And his beginning comeback promo where he explained that he is a loser. That promo was meant to set up him ultimately losing his retirement match. Maybe he gets to 17 as well.
The tissue wasn't there, unfortunately, but
maybe he gets there at 17 as well at some point in the year. Right. And so it's like the rise and fall.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's like it is him establishing, like, look, I am past my prime. I am no longer the John Cena back in the day. I am ultimately nowadays a loser. And maybe I've got this year lucky winning another title. And ultimately, maybe that's what it is. But this version of John Cena is a loser. The heel version, I guess, is a winner. Maybe that's part of the heat. I don't know. We're not going to get into that. We talked about it a little bit last week. The finish is obviously this guy's a loser. I think it comes down to the execution of it all. I think and honestly, Scotty, the execution comes down to a little bit of selling. I think there is selling issues with Cena. Well, there's always been sort of selling issues with Cena throughout his career to a degree. But Gunther as well. Ultimately, you can pinpoint the exact moment that I think if you remove this, the match would have been better saved for a lot of people. And that is, of course, the smile. That is the it is, I think when people wanted ultimately and what I probably was expecting and maybe wanted as well was you don't necessarily want to see John Cena tap out per se. I think most people were expecting him to pass out. that he never gave up, but he still lost. And that's a cheap finish as well. But I think him tapping out can still be executed in a way where John Cena feels like he is severely struggling. I didn't fully get the sense that Cena was struggling throughout this match. Wrestling at the end of the day is a fight. It's a struggle between two opponents or more than that. John Cena, when it's a John Cena style match, this guy never gets red in the face too much. And that's part of the sell job, and that's part of his issues in selling, is that like I never got truly convinced that he was in any danger. It was always a stage play in this match for me. It never became reality for me. And that is part of the reason why the tap doesn't feel as real, and why the heat, I think, is also partly not on Gunther, but on the creative, because I think people feel the same way. The smile to me is indicative of that issue. If John Cena is struggling, he's fighting, he's sweating, he's red in the face, and he's passing out, and his eyes are closing, and he very faintly taps and does the thing, that would have sold the match extensively. The problem is the entire match had an element of artifice to it for me. I think Cena, a lot of ways, has been sort of signaling that in the past a while, that he is a character, that he is a storyteller, all these sort of things. This new thing. It became this thing recently where John Cena is no longer a wrestler. He is a character, a storyteller that he wears, that he puts on. And the smile ultimately for me is him realizing that he has to lose, and that's what has to happen, and he has to tap. It didn't feel like he had to do it because he was going to get killed by Gunther. It felt like, I'm deciding this, and that's it. And it wasn't well executed for me. I wanted to see more of that struggle. I wanted to see Cena work hard for it, and to a degree he did. But the smugness of the smile, which came off smug. It wasn't, I don't think it was meant to be that. It just came off of like, I am accepting that I'm accepting that I'm a loser, right? Which that he said in this promo earlier in the year. I'm accepting that I'm a loser and passing out. I think the problem is that like ultimately it comes down to, look, John, you're a storyteller. To me, it comes down to a storytelling issue. I didn't believe the story that you're telling, and you making that face is you telling me that you're quitting. You didn't show me that you were quitting. You told me it. You told me with your smile, with your acceptance, and then tapping out. I wanted to see it. And to me, that's where the beauty of wrestling and the visual storytelling comes from. Yes, he didn't talk, but I think just having the smirk smile of like, yep, this is happening. I just didn't quite enjoy that. I do think there are issues with the match itself. Like I said, I think a big issue is with the selling, the believability of things. I think that the match got too quickly into the like ending spot and then hung out in the ending spot a little bit too much. Like the match begins, I look at my phone to see, because I'm texting someone, and then I look back and John Cena's doing his first 5-knuckle shuffle, and I'm like, we're already here. We're already at the 5-knuckle shuffles. I think that the match they wanted to get to the, not necessarily the closing stretch, but the heightening, those heightened moments as quickly as possible. They didn't really build enough there. I think that's part of the selling aspect of things. They didn't necessarily get the build there. It got very quickly into what felt like a closing type stretch, and then we hung around there for a good while. Like I said, I think you cut the Joe Hendry bit, add 5 minutes to this match, and I think that would have solved that issue as well. And that's where all my points basically come down. I don't disagree that there's emotional connections to all this. I had an emotional connection to it. Probably not as strong as you, Scotty, because I'm a Batista guy myself. There was very obvious emotional connection with everyone in the crowd. Every YouTube, Instagram reel video I see online from fans is that there is that emotional connection. I just think that the ultimate execution of the match, of the storytelling to get there, was not up to par. And to me, that I wonder if as time passes, how that could change for both you and I, And if the match holds up for you, say 5 years from now, if you still have, with time has gone on, if the match will hold up in that same way, because I just don't feel like the match fully executed on its promises that it needed to be. And if it did, obviously we wouldn't have gotten the crowd reaction that we did. And if it did execute on those promises, I think a lot more of that heat would have been on Gunther, in the same way that, let's say, the Brock Lesnar heat was on Brock for the Undertaker streak gimmick, right? That Undertaker losing, you get the same shock. The heat goes on Brock Lesnar. Didn't really go on Vince, or anything. It went on Brock. This, in a similar fashion, should have gone to Gunther. Maybe that was the intention, but the crowd saw right through it, felt the artifice, so much so that they're booing the guy that is the head of creative. And I think that, to me, is indicative of the execution issues for this match.
So I on the crowd reaction, I think that more had to do with the entire year than the match.
I think the year plays into it as well.
I think the year plays so much into it, and it helps that a lot of people have cited the year along the way in terms of what they've done with John. It's a match that I don't like. If I rewatch it, I'm going to be emotional all over again.
Sure.
And I will also admit this retirement matches do hit a different tone for me. I think in my top 10, there's 3 retirement matches this year.
You're a sucker for that emotional stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, because again, this is how I watch movies. This is how I watch TV. This is how I watch things. Like, if I'm not invested to a certain degree, I'm not going to care as much. I'm not going to give my I'm not going to connect. I reached this point this year, and this is not for what it's worth. I do not give it 5 stars. But I do need to make this point. I don't give matches 5 stars if I don't have an emotional connection to it. I can't. I cannot. If I am not at the end, like,
I'm the same way.
God.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. And I think that's why I don't feel bad. Like, for the longest time, and I don't know if people like who write matches or whatever feel this way, and it's a stupid, silly thing, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's all subjective. But to give my sense that I think gives my, again, further sense of why I like this match. Like, at the end of the day, this match is probably, like, I can recognize, like, for me, would have any other time, if John Cena's not retiring in this match, probably like 3 1/4 would have been happy. 4, yeah, I mean, bordering on 4, but there's so much more to it for me that just brings it so much higher, right? And every bit matters a little bit more. Every moment matters a little bit more. And I realized that this year, because for the longest time it was like, if I don't think it's 5, like, one of the things I always saw, if you have to think about it, if it's a 5, it's not a 5.
Correct.
And for me, which is true, I agree with that. But for me, I took a step further. I was like, if I didn't feel something, like, the reason I don't have, for example, Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd as a full 5, I don't feel the connection to those 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's a phenomenal match. I can outright say that Kenny Omega had an unbelievable performance, and Gabe Kidd can thank Kenny Omega for the rest of his career for what he did.
Here, a prime example of a 5 for you and I. I went 5 on Omega and Kidd, but a prime example for a 5 where you and I had emotional investment this year, All in Texas. Adam Page versus.
I don't have that as a 5.
You don't have it as a 5? I thought you did.
No, I actually don't, because I thought I did, and I think I have to rewatch it because I don't remember what happened. I thought I had it as a 5 too, and then I went back to the other day and I was like,
I could have sworn you said on the pod it was a 5.
I think I did too. That's why that's one match I like. I have 2 matches I want to go back and watch this year.
Mm-hmm.
Saya versus Tam, the second one,
and Minoru Suzuki versus Butterbean.
I mean, that would be funny. And terrifying. But that and Hangman versus Moxley, because I think there is a disconnect for me in terms of whatever happened at the time.
Sure.
Because those 2 are the only 2 that I have that aren't 5s to me that I was like, you know what? If I rewatch that and feel that again, let's see.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that is a great example, and I appreciate you bringing that one because there was the emotional investment and such, and I remember it. Long show probably too. I remember saying it was 5 on the show. That's why I wanted to point out when you said it, I was like, it's not for me, but I remember every part of that conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my ultimate point. It's like for me, a 5-star match, I have to have an emotional investment or it builds up during a match, and I'm at the end, I'm like, man, that was everything for me. And that's just
what is holding you back then? You said this Cena Gunther match wasn't a 5. What's
Oh, there are like complications to the match itself. Like it's not a perfectly wrestled match. I know that.
Yeah.
I am 100% going to admit that. There's certain things like Perfect World, John Cena is a bloody mess. Like you know, like Perfect World, and I don't always need blood like people. I really don't. But like some of John Cena's greatest matches, he is a bloody pulp and surviving. And I was like, man, if he just
that's why, like we mentioned the preview that like this ideal scenario is him bloody, but that's what I said at the beginning earlier was like I just wanted this guy like sweating and red in the face. Like I want this guy looking like Samoa Joe at some point during this match.
Like I think that like there are parts that it's not a perfect match, but for me it was an emotional roller coaster that I will forever appreciate. There will never be a time I feel the way I did watching a match like that again. Though I did say to myself, like the day Maya retires, I am not watching wrestling anymore. I was like, I will be gone. I will disappear because now John's gone. It's like, oh boy.
I will
if you
say
like
this.
Coast Radio, just keep hoping she wrestles for the next forever.
I will say this about it as well, is that I do think it was a match that fell to those expectations of like what you thought the match could be. And we talked about, I talked about last week of what I thought John Cena versus Gunther should look like. Much like Okada versus Tanahashi, I think is a match I reference. Moxley versus Darby in an I Quit match, not as bloody or fiery or any of these other things, but like this idea that that you have, the immovable wall, whatever, movable object, whatever, all these sort of things. That it just to me wasn't able to get there. And I think it's like I desperately, Scotty, wanted to be in the same boat you are in about this match. I wanted to love this match so much. I love John Cena too, buddy. I grew up watching the guy. Obviously, like
I mean, my connection is
you have a stronger connection. Sure, yeah. He beat up your dad.
You have Biggest Dave. That was your guy.
Dave.
Everyone as a kid had their guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it. Now, were you emotionally connected to Dave Bautista versus Triple H? Probably not. But
I like that match a lot, though.
Right.
I think it's a little bit of the Triple H of it all. But
I remember that match famously is like disliked by people.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I don't know, I had fun. I love Dave.
I liked it a lot.
Like that's the thing though. Like that match, I think has like a 4 on Cage Match. For you, it was not a 4, and that's what matters.
We gotta look up.
I actually wonder what that is. It's definitely not high
right now.
Triple H is in it.
But I severely wanted to love Gunther versus Cena. Like I really wanted to love this match. It was just like I said, the execution at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I just couldn't get behind I could get behind the story. I just couldn't get behind the way they told the story. I think they could have done that in a way better fashion. In the same, like, basically what I'm saying there is that, like, I think the story on paper is a great story. I think that it should be what happened. I think the problem is that the script writers, the people executing on this, just weren't up to par for what they wanted. Maybe it's look, Cena's an older guy. Maybe he couldn't execute it as well as he maybe once was. We talk about it. We reference a lot of those great moments being obviously 10, 15 years ago at this point, when Cena almost 20 years ago at this point, where Cena's having more of these, he's able to do more of these high octane sort of stuff. And maybe again, it's an expectation issue on my end. I think it's just this thing of like, look, he just didn't get there in the ring and told that story well enough that I whereas I wanted to be invested, I couldn't get invested because I was being inhibited by the execution of the match.
Yeah, and again that is something that I think comes with watching a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
And maybe for some it is hard to just kind of lose yourself at times. Like I do from time to time when it comes to matches. And that's not a shot at anyone. That's just something that I do. And I luckily do. Again, like I said, it's something I can do with like an old movie that I know is actually not that great, but it's a favorite of mine and forever I will forever love it. You know, it's something like that.
And that's another thing that, you know, long-term listeners know. I'm not a very nostalgic person anyway. So like,
right. So
I get the sense that you're fairly nostalgic, Scotty.
Oh, big time.
So like,
big time.
You can't use nostalgia for bonus points for me because it's so hard for me to access that it's not going to work. And I think that's, you know, that's a big part of it as well.
And for me, it's again, it's watching John one last time. It's why I love the SummerSlam Cody match too, because that was the last.
I thought it was a great match.
That's the last full Super Cena performance.
Agreed.
This was just the last John Cena performance. It's like I have nothing left, guys, but I'm going to just go out here and swing.
Yeah.
And if I miss, that's fine. I don't care. I'm just happy to close this. And for me, that was enough. It's very similar to, again, when I've watched retirement matches, it's very unique. It's not even my highest rated retirement match this year, and I love John Cena more than everyone else that's retired this year. But like, it was enough for me. It really was. I understand. Like I said, I understand anyone that's had problems, whatever. I mean, I had problems with it, but the problems were not going to outweigh the way I felt. And again, that's the beauty of really anything in this kind of dynamic. Like we're never going to all agree on the same thing. Like I said, I'm sure I am 100% sure you rated Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball Mike Bailey pretty highly.
4.5.
Yeah, I gave it 3 3/4. Like that's just the world. And you were there. So as someone who's been there for an Osprey Takeshita match this year, I get it.
Yeah.
It's just a different and great crowd, by the way, in Atlanta.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
TK was very excited after the show and promised us a pay-per-view. So
better deliver.
Better deliver. I imagine if we're going to do that,
have fun sitting there for 7 years, but he
clear my schedule.
But
I wonder. I wonder though, real quickly. I know you just said you wanted to pivot, and I know
I was just going to say to John's career. Now.
Yeah, but we also need to pivot to Dave Batista's last match start cage match rating.
I would definitely like it more now. Yes.
You mentioned the sort of like apathy isn't the word, but the sort of just like I'm gonna try my best, give it all.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily care how it turns out.
Classic, maybe.
Yeah, I don't care what the outcome is. I'm just gonna try my best. That sort of energy. I wonder if that reads and why part of the reason the crowd is upset is because they wanted Super Cena very much, obviously, as the crowd chanted. And it was, and I think maybe that's the misread of Cena in this moment is that no one wants to. He gave it all. Like it's like
SummerSlam.
It's like I have to accept giving like a participation trophy for John Cena in this moment of like you tried your best, kiddo, and that's kind of the energy he's laying there. He tells the crowd, points to his heart, I gave it my all, and it's just like I don't want that. The crowd didn't want that very much, obviously.
And
it's
in
like,
a nutshell,
even then, it's like I give it my all, and what I just described is like I don't believe you. I didn't believe that you gave it your all.
Right.
So I think that I wonder if the crowd read that and it's like, oh, buddy, you could have done more.
And I think that's part of the problem because people are used to a different John Cena.
Yeah.
Because he's not around like a Tanahashi where you're watching him deteriorate in front of you.
Yeah.
Cena wasn't here the past number of years. For a lot of people, I saw some people like I wish I was he was. I mean, there was a year he had one match where he snuck it in on SmackDown just to say he wrestled every year. Like that's where we got. And I think in terms of how these things go, like it's a very unique retirement match. It's the same reason like the Batista one's actually very unique. He was off for 5 years, came back to have the one match and left. Like it's
and got the rating, a cage match rating of
5.88.
Oh, boo! What year was that? I want to see what I
2019.
Okay, I'm gonna look up what I gave that.
2 stars from Dave.
Jesus Christ.
No, I know it wasn't Dave's fault. Never Dave's fault. He's in Glass Onion, by the way. Would you rate it?
4.5.
Yeah,
yeah. I love you as some biggest Dave, baby. What can I say?
But there you go. There you go. That now you know exactly how I feel. I could. Exactly. I mean, I probably like the Dave. If I went back and rewatched it, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, Big Dave."
Yeah. And again, like I wonder. I haven't gone back and rewatched it. I wonder if I have the separation.
It's one of those matches, but that's the thing with retirement match. You never should re-rate a match you watched first time like this because you'll never have the same connection to it that you did when you watched it.
The context is not completely gone. Like we all understand it's a retirement.
No,
thing, but like the emotions of the emotional context is very
right. When you watched it then compared to when you watch it now, not the same. Probably. You'll still love Big Dave. You'll still love Big Dave. Don't get me wrong. You'll love biggest
Dave. Right. Not Big Dave. Biggest Dave, Scotty.
But you've completely proved my point.
Yeah.
You completely proved my point of why I love this match. And I understand why anyone, because you're like 4.5 for Biggest Dave. Come on.
Biggest Dave's last match. And that's Camille Nanjiani's in the front row. Advertising, was it Stuber?
I sure was. But that right there is the beautiful aspect of professional wrestling. That is the best of pro wrestling to me. That's what I felt watching John Cena. That's what you felt watching Biggest Dave. That is it. And that's why watching all these people so angry this week, I'm just smiling and watching because I'm like, you can't affect me. You can't. Yeah. Triple H can, but you can't. And the reason I'm excited to kind of just talk John's career here is because there will never ever be another wrestler to this magnitude as long as we live.
Yeah, I fully agree with you.
Every sports team, every person in like existence said, "Congrats, John." Like everyone. And that's not even including the fact that, you had this build up for a year. You had all these different things. This felt like a legitimate moment worldwide where people were saying, "Congrats, John. Congrats to you. Congrats to what you're doing." And you felt that. I've never seen so many people from all sides of the internet be like, "Man, I can't believe John Cena's retiring." Yeah. Like AEW fans that hate WWE, WWE fans of old that don't watch anymore, all these different things. They're like, "Man, my childhood's over, man." And then just coming out with all these John Cena stories. There will never be a star. Roman Reigns freaking wishes he was as big as John Cena. Cody Rhodes does.
And as much effort they're putting in with Roman and Cody in WWE, what you're pinpointing is not necessarily a wrestling star. You're describing a pop culture star that comes from wrestling.
Right. He didn't have to be an actor to be this big of a star. He just happened to become an actor. John Cena was big before that. You can't see me.
To a degree, it helped. To a degree, being Peacemaker helped.
For sure. It doesn't hurt whatsoever. But the "you can't see me" was a big thing. By the way, 1 for 1 in platinum albums. Just put that out there. But there will never be another star like him in professional wrestling.
I fully agree.
He was the last of a dying breed.
I fully agree. It is this thing of like, I just don't see, and it is this macro conversation of like, attention span in 2025 going into 2026, how, it's very hard to get anything. I saw the clips of Timothy Chalamet on Cody Rhodes' talk show.
Oh, buddy. I know a lot of people hate Timothy Chalamet now. Love that guy.
Oh, I'm sure. But
His
he made the
athlete
point of like,
mentality,
because
baby.
they
Also,
talk about
Fuzzy
how
CW.
last year, and to extent part of this, the marketing for Marty Supreme is Timothy Chalamet like talking about how great he thinks his performances are.
Yeah.
And he talked about in that Cody thing about how
Part of the character, by the way, for those who don't know.
One of the reasons he does that and says that is that he feels that people's attention spans are so distracted and so taken up by so many other different things that exist in the world that he sort of feels like if you feel that strongly, you kind of have to scream it from the rooftops for anyone to anyone to pay attention.
It's true.
And I just don't see how that is happening in wrestling anytime soon. AEW as like an idea kind of had that, but like as a singular wrestler, I mean, it's so hard to tell. But like when did John Cena obviously starts off in Ultimate Pro Wrestling, goes into Ohio Valley Wrestling, then makes his main roster debut, and I'm skipping over a lot of stuff we could talk about as well. But what's the moment that we can maybe pinpoint, if it is a pinpointable moment, where you feel like Cena crossed over into pop culture? Is there a moment that feels that way?
When he was wearing an orange shirt.
Orange shirt.
So
Cena.
early 2010s is when I think it really broke through.
Let's see if I can find a picture.
Oh, Rock time. Right around the time that's a different thing. Once in a Lifetime began. Around that time.
2008 might have been let's see.
No, 2008 was the Bulldog shirt.
Yeah, you're right. That was
into the AWA shirt, the best shirt of all time.
Yes, that's the AWA. It's the AW. Remember, he had this. Okay, I'm just gonna pull up this picture from Reddit. I'm gonna present and share screen. The podcast goes to a massive fucking stop. And it pops up, and it's.
I remember all of these. Thank you for asking.
You can't even see this at all. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in. No, I can't.
I can see it.
Yeah, the mobile people are gonna have to sit this one out apparently. So remember this shirt?
Yeah.
remember this military cap red shirt, C Nation shirt? This shirt was bad.
Oh yeah.
We can all agree.
Yeah. It was like a jersey thing. Yeah.
Yeah. These three on the
second
row.
Also, this isn't in correct order, by the way. This is pissing me off.
Yeah.
That green shirt didn't come until after the blue one. Not that one. The green and black. The green and black. That didn't come. Yeah, I had that one too. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, this one I vaguely remember. Well, this was also WrestleMania 25,
that
Big Show.
That one is after the Bulldog one, which is the second in that row, the middle row. Well, it's also after the video game one. The video game one rules too, by the way.
Well, this AWA shirt is, I remember distinctly as that was the Edge Big Show WrestleMania match.
Yeah, that was his Survivor Series comeback in Boston, which I was at. Thank you.
This orange shirt, I fully agree.
Yes.
He breaks out as like the top star in the second row.
Yep.
But it's the orange shirt. That's when he breaks off into pop culture mainstream. And I think you're right.
I think he was on Fred. He was on like Nickelodeon. He was Fred's dad.
Yeah.
You remember Fred?
Oh, of course I remember Fred.
Yeah.
What is Fred doing? I want to look that up too. Fred.
That's okay. Because that orange shirt into the once in a lifetime shebang, like that was that mixture. That's where that went, and that's 15 years ago at this point.
Do you remember the person that played Fred's actual name, his shoot name?
No.
It was, of course, Lucas Cruikshank, lest we forget.
How you doing? Got rid of Ryan.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think it's probably that orange time, which is probably around The Rock, if we recall.
2010, 2011. I think it's 2010, 2011.
2009, a little bit down there, late stage.
Yeah,
that's really when he starts breaking out into
otherworldly.
Purple to a degree, up until Purple,
Yeah, athletes are doing the "You Can't See Me," like all these like little things to really build up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, this is me to say John Cena, like if there's levels to this, right? And this is going to be a visual thing, so I'm very sorry for those who aren't watching. But like, there are ranks here of like superstardom in professional wrestling, right? John Cena's here. Then there's a level of emptiness. And then there's like the Roman Reigns of the world. Like, that's how far removed he is, in my opinion, to the current slate of wrestlers. And would we agree Roman's probably the biggest star right now in terms of public knowledge?
Yeah. Cody might be fighting him on that, but yeah,
like it's him and we'll put him and Cody together.
Yeah.
Okay, for the sake of the conversation. They're not John Cena.
No. Punk? Is Punk John Cena?
No. Never was. Never will be.
Do I dare ask Randy Orton? Please. That face was up. Please.
Come on now.
Come on now.
But yeah, this ends a certain level of superstar, certain level of star in professional wrestling that I mean transcended the sport without the acting. It only got bigger and better. If you ask someone, hey, you know who John Cena is? They're gonna say yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few people, I think, in the history of wrestling that you can feel pretty confident about. If I ask you about this person, you will know them. The Rock, John Cena,
Hogan,
probably Hogan,
Stone Cold,
maybe
Stone Cold probably because he was the biggest star during the biggest like TV WWE period.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I that's probably an age thing.
Yeah,
like if you ask like a younger person now, they wouldn't know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is.
That breaks my heart.
That
feels like it could be right, but it breaks.
They may not know Hogan either, and that's just an age thing at that point.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone knows who Hogan is, right? Everyone has heard that name.
I feel like I hope so. Maybe not.
But it's those four, right?
Maybe not hope so.
It's probably those four.
Yeah.
Like that's the league. And then it's everyone else in terms of that superstardom. And for John to wrap things up, and I think another part of like this entire John Cena thing is he's been essentially retired for years. It's it's like he was just making it official this year with the final run. And I think that's like the uniqueness of how all this felt, and maybe why the childhood thing really smacked me in the face now, because it's like, oh, you can hold on to that idea. He's still kind of around, and he'll dip his toe in once in a while, and he'll maybe have a match. That's gone now. I truly like. I know wrestlers come back, and never say never, but I do think he'll probably never wrestle again because he doesn't need to.
Nope.
He does not need to. Many of the wrestlers that come back need to or feel the need to. He loves wrestling, but he's like, I'm good.
I don't know if I've seen my last AAFU.
No, sure. No.
For certain have not seen my last 5-knuckle shuffle.
I agree. But I think I've for sure seen the last time the bell rings and he's competing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I tend to agree. What are some of the standout moments of his career that really stick out to you? That when you think of John Cena retrospectively,
matches,
storylines, periods.
I'll do moments first. That I can do matches because I do think talking about his best matches are important. Because John Cena actually was always awesome, and I won't hear otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Big supporter of that. Moments or storylines. I mean, I came into wrestling when he was feuding with Shawn Michaels in 2007. Speaking of great
matches.
Oh man. Someone asked me in the lead up, like, what's your favorite John Cena match? And I have a long list.
Yeah.
But I will probably always love the WrestleMania 23 main event way more than most people because it's my first WrestleMania and John was my guy. It's a simple and Shawn Michaels was obviously awesome. And then they obviously have the 60-minute TV match. And I think a big thing, one of my favorite things, like when I talk to people about like, oh, were you John Cena guys? Well, the answer is either yes or no. I couldn't watch Raw and I watched SmackDown. That was always how it went, I
watched SmackDown. I grew up, and that was part of the reason I'm a Batista guy is I watched SmackDown.
Right. And my friend was an Undertaker guy, tough. But he was. But it's because he watched SmackDown.
I wasn't not an Undertaker guy, you know.
Right. I always make fun of him now. Kind of like, how'd that go? I mean, he can laugh at me for other things that John says, but Undertaker's Undertaker, I guess. But like when I was a kid, I would always be able to stay up for the first segment of Raw, and that was always John Cena. 9:30, go to bed. So I always saw John Cena, and then I'll watch the rest of the show after school the next day. My favorite moments, though, I did not ignore you. Or stories? You say stories? Or
Moments, storylines, matches, anything that sticks out in your brain when you think about John
love
Cena's
the stuff.
career.
I love the stuff with Shawn because that's the first story of wrestling I remember. And that just connected with me. I always thought Shawn was gonna win. He didn't. God bless. The Punk stuff, obviously. That always has a very important connection to me. I actually love the Batista stuff, even though it wasn't long-winded. The first time, the SummerSlam, I rewatched that SummerSlam match. That match rules. Don't listen to anyone.
The Batista stuff was a time where like I was now fully watching wrestling and watching pay-per-views and stuff.
Yeah, and then when Batista was a heel, I remember, the over the limit match, and then he quits. That match also rules. Don't let anyone. JBL stuff, obviously, that is a classic. The Umaga combo is awesome. Let's see. Oh, when him and AJ, like that was the first time I think I fully appreciated like work rate, if that makes sense. I didn't know what the hell that meant at the time, but that was when I was like, yeah, this is like the greatest match, ever. And they're fantastic together. Let's see. I remember a lot of bad John Cena stuff. Not his fault.
Yeah, well, other things I remember is the Nexus angle.
Yes.
Specifically the Nexus angle. We pinpoint that memory.
It's an important one to pinpoint.
But
here's the thing. I loved John Cena beating the Nexus because I was still a kid. I didn't want the Nexus to win, even though I thought the Nexus was cool as shit. I didn't want him to beat John.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever fell into actually John Cena's bad. I don't think I actually ever fell into that fully. It was more like, all right, he can like not be world champion for a second. It was more like that.
Yeah.
I notice I didn't say him and Randy.
Haven't brought up Randy Orton yet. Yeah, I think there's a lot of fun stuff there. I think that his feud with Edge, the TLC match in Unforgiven specifically, is a great moment as well.
Oh, that's the most watched match I have on a DVD. I had the ladder match DVD.
Unforgiven?
Yeah, and they had that on the ladder match DVD. I was like, John Cena was in a ladder match? That match rules. Him and Edge rocks. That was before I watched wrestling, but that is one of the best feuds he's ever had. That's why I understand people being upset Edge couldn't be part of it.
What makes Cena so great though is that like I do think he's like just a perfect like all-rounder that like and arguably a great hardcore guy because like we talk about the TLC match, we talk about the I Quit match of JBL on Judgment Day. Just the getting beaten down on the Nexus thing, to a degree, to a very much a degree, a hardcore sort of angle. The ECW One Night Stand with Rob Van Dam, obvious moment match that gets pinpoint out here. That was a very fun match because what's interesting about that match specifically for me is that it is John Cena working heel. Even though he is a face, he is essentially working heel in that match. And that you could tell he is working heel.
Wait, which one did you say? Sorry, I missed
Rob Van Dam One Night Stand.
Oh yeah,
he is very obviously
I have a good flip
and
side
working
to
as
that,
heel.
by the way, or a follow up to that. Him and Daniel Bryan SummerSlam.
Daniel Bryan SummerSlam. That's a great one. His feud with AJ Styles in that 2017. Him being one of the big prominent figures of that new age. When I come back into wrestling, I'm still a SmackDown guy. Brand split. I'm watching both shows, but I'm loving SmackDown more because it was also better. And John Cena is a big proponent, not big, character of that era as well.
He was a really cool part of that era.
He was.
That's like a really cool time. Oh, the other thing, which is one of my favorite things of all time wrestling, the United States Open Challenge.
Yep. I'm fully gone at this point from wrestling.
I know you are. It's awesome though. It is absolutely awesome. Like, it is one of those things I legitimately recommend people just go back and watch it. in order, it's a really fun time because every week was a mystery. Every week was someone different. He probably gave Cesaro, Claudio, whatever you want to call him, the most shine he ever got on the main roster.
Yeah.
He helped Sami Zayn break in. Oh, and the Kevin Owens stuff absolutely rules.
Kevin
I
Owens
shed
feud
a
ruled. I watched
I
all
shed
his matches.
I almost shed a tear when Kevin was there and he embraced him bigger than anyone else. I was like, that means a lot to me as someone that loves that feud, like loves what they did with that.
Yeah, that was genuinely great. Genuinely great feud.
Man,
Series
John
of
Cena's
matches,
just
pay per view.
awesome, huh?
Great guy. What's the moment where things start turning? We got to start talking about the tumultuous, like this guy is on top for so long. He's not necessarily the best worker
When
per
did fans
se.
turn on him?
But when does it talk? We got to talk about the fans and the
Oh,
turn
7,
of
oh,
everything.
08? Like 08's probably the full turn on him, I'd say.
When's
Oh, 07.
when's the rise above hate era?
They were definitely against him then. That was when he was facing Kane and well, he was feuding with The Rock too. That was
Yeah,
kind of The Rock time. That's when they really fully went in on that. Yeah, fans turned on him big time. I think that's something that's definitely very forgotten because every time John's come back the past decade, it's been very different. But boy, oh boy, he was like the most hated man in arenas a lot of the time.
yeah,
You look at 2011, people picking Punk over him, obviously.
yeah.
That was a big part of that, and him still kind of getting the center stage, him beating Nexus, another big part of that. We kind of talked about it earlier. Um, they did a lot of hoop jumping to try to get him not booed.
Mm-hmm.
Like feuding him with like John Laurinaitis of all people. Oh boy, that was some of the worst stuff they've ever done.
Awful
Awful,
stuff.
awful, awful. Um, he was booed for a good like 5 years,
Yeah,
but he was always John. He kept going, kept pushing. Still did some great things. But there's a lot of bad in there that wasn't his control. They just put it. I mean, they paired him with the freaking Miz at WrestleMania.
yeah. That's a big problem. Not necessarily a John problem, unless you listen to the Locker Room Stories, but a big problem of it is this thing of everything was centered around John for so long, and that's partly why there was this disdain. But it was also that there was no one else that was like filling that void. You're starting to have guys, retire, being
Yeah.
forced to retire, like Edge. Guys like Shawn Michaels actually retiring on their own thing. Guys who are now becoming part timers like Undertaker or something. A guy that he never really had long time feud. That's what made the WrestleMania match so interesting. Is that they always they like barely intersected in their entire careers.
Yeah. I
But
argue
you
they
have
still didn't.
yeah, I mean they have these things where I fully lost my train of thought. That scene Undertaker barely interacted whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the issue of the day at that point in time is that like, look, there's just nothing to really face with John. And when a bunch of people go down, you have like R-Truth at Capital Punishment or the Miz at WrestleMania. And you're sort of like,
Yeah.
well, what are we gonna do around here?
The roster was very barren once upon a time,
Mm-hmm.
like it's always funny when you look back at it. It's like, well, John could have put this person over, John could have put that person over. But at the end of the day, like all they had was John sometimes. Like that was part of it. Until Punk really blew up, and then from Punk it kind of became Daniel Bryan who blew up. Like it was the indie darlings. It was really when the handpicked guys bad, the indie crew good, type thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The and I think that was a real movement when he was really disliked, but he did some of his best work with these guys. Like some of my favorite stories you'll hear is from like those types of guys. Like, yeah, John Cena is actually a really good wrestler. Fun fact, and it's like, no, I've watched. Thank you. Um, but it's like, I don't know if you saw this, and I don't know how many people actually saw this. He called AJ Styles the greatest in-ring worker of all time.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like that's very overlooked of like how meaningful that probably is from someone like John, who's worked with a who's who of the past couple, number of years.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of I wish John could have faced and stuff like that, but it was never all perfect. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of John Cena at the same time
Mm-hmm.
is it was never all perfect. You know, me and my friend were joking while we were watching the last match. Like, come on, John, I need to hear you call it a move. Like, I need the full, and I did. I
This
need the
guy
full thing.
nonstop talking and
Oh
talking.
yeah, but there's something so cool that he was like, yeah, we're calling that shit in the ring. I will yell it out, but we are calling that shit in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
How many people call this shit in the ring anymore?
Well, it's tough because I don't think anyone calls their shit in the ring
No.
as loud as John
That's
Cena.
true. That's true. But we do know a lot of things are pre-planned, right?
Yeah.
Now at this point, I think it's fair to say it's more pre-planned than it is called in the ring at this stage.
I wonder how much the last match. It felt like the entire match was probably called in the ring.
It's my fucking guy,
I
man.
mean, John Cena was yelling
Oh
nonstop.
yeah,
So
that's my guy though. That's how I want him to go out though. Hey,
Mhm.
buddy, if I'm calling my career, we're doing this the right way, okay? Like
and by that I mean calling it.
I
Calling it.
I
I'm
watched
calling
him
my
call
career
that
an end.
entire thing. I watched him call that entire thing literally. Um yeah, the best thing I could say about John Cena is he is WWE's greatest of all time. Like when they say it, it is not a lie. He's my favorite men's wrestler of all time. He will never be replaced in that respect. Like I used to love CM Punk. The only other time I could ever say like there was a men's wrestler over John Cena in my life was like, the cool teenage age. Punk cool, Cena bad. Even then, like what did I love the most? The CM Punk John Cena feud. Like
Yeah.
that's still um yeah, so for me, John Cena's career is the reason I am on this show. I'm not here without John. I mean, I'm not here without other things because I almost fell out of wrestling in 2020, but I've said that a lot, but I'm not here at all without John Cena. I am not watching wrestling as long as I have. This is 2025. In 2 years, I will be watching wrestling for 20 years. That is sickening to think about. Someone help me, please. Uh, um, but yeah, I mean, it's all started with SmackDown versus Raw 2007. I put that in the system. I learned about a guy named John Cena. I put it on the TV, heard from West Newbury, Massachusetts. I said, "Oh my God, that's near where I live," and the rest was history. He happened to be the world champion at the time. I didn't know what the frick that meant. That was a fun part. He had the cool spinning belt. That's what I remember. And he's from Massachusetts. I remember me and my cousins watched WrestleMania 23 together. Yes, this is now me going down memory lane.
That's
Deal
fine.
with it.
That's kind of what the segment needs to be,
Yeah.
Scotty.
I remember watching WrestleMania 23. I was rooting for John Cena in the main event. My cousins were rooting for Shawn Michaels, and I didn't understand why. I was like, "This is the guy. What are you talking about? He's John Cena.
Freaking John Cena.
He has the sick car drive, smash
Yep.
through the glass, and the music hits." By the way, I know like I know some people don't like My Time Is Now. Now that shit is all timer. Like that is when the trumpets hit, you know.
Beep, beep,
Um,
beep.
oh, it's a
Beep,
classic.
beep, beep.
Been blaring in my ears for the past 3 days, 4 days, however long it's been since he retired. Um, But I remember just doing that. I was always the John Cena guy. I was going to school with John Cena shirts on, had the big bulldog shirt. My best friend still reminds me to this day, dude, I was terrified of that bulldog shirt when we were in elementary school. He was like, I was like, I remember. I remember. I was John Cena for Halloween, guys.
Yeah.
I was John Cena for Halloween. Like my cousin was Triple H. Bad pick. No wonder why he hates. No wonder why he doesn't like wrestling anymore. Uh, and I was John Cena. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people care about Memory Lane, but that was 2007, and every year after that, it was John had so many of his shirts, the cool ones. Not once he went to Fruity Pebble, I stopped buying his shirts. Because
I had when I was younger, I've never said this to you. when I was younger, I had all of my like wrestling memorabilia on. I had these like IKEA rollout like plastic cabinetry
Yeah.
sort of things.
Yeah.
It had black top and they
Oh,
had like the
yeah.
clear
Mhm.
containers. On the very top was all my wrestling memorabilia, and so much of it was John Cena. And my mom would be like, "What is this? Your shrine?" I'm like, "In a way, in a way." Because
You
it was like
know,
I remember distinctly that we had the John Cena. There was a John Cena bobblehead. There was a John Cena armbands. The 8-bit John Cena shirt.
yeah,
Um, that I remember that
that
all
shirt
specifically.
rocks.
That sticks out my brain. There was a Rock and Rey Mysterio bobblehead as well, I believe. There was
Yeah.
other stuff there were like there was a George the Animal Steel like baseball card sort of thing. Like
I
I
had
remember
one of
like a
those.
bunch of things.
I remember those.
I
Yeah.
distinctly remember the 8-bit John Cena shirt.
I mean, we're talking about memorabilia. I have this because of John right here.
Mm-hmm.
The little it does spin, by the way. I've had this on my desk in front of me. It's like
Yeah,
right where my monitor is. Every show we've ever done, which
perfect.
is a fun little fact. Like I just have that. I even have the stupid old WWE title because it was the 16th, by the way. That's the one belt I have because it was the 16th. Do I even like that belt? No, I actually don't. Thanks for asking. I actually hate this belt. But it was John Cena's 16th.
Yeah.
And that was the one at the time. I wish I bought the spinner, but I digress. That's neither here nor there. I still would, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
If it ever went on sale, I will never pay $600 for a fake piece of metal. But my point remains,
Yes.
like all of this is to say there's a reason I love the match. There's a reason, despite Triple H's many, 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 many false and poorly booked decisions throughout this entire retirement run, I still enjoyed so much of it. I hated some of it, but I still enjoyed a lot of it too. The really ever since he turned back babyface, because he clearly said, "Yeah, this sucks. All right, let's end this the right way." Um, I did my best to enjoy every bit of it, and I think I'm right with saying there is no part of me that cares what WWE does moving forward. There's no part of me that will ever again care what WWE does moving forward
Yeah.
because now I know John Cena's not coming back. And while we will still talk about it on this show, we will still watch some of the things and review it on the show. To me, WWE that I ever had any love for once upon a time, that is now fully gone.
Yeah, I don't know what WWE looks like now in this sort of thing. I mean, I've been thinking about that. I was thinking about that at good old Jersey Mike's today,
Mm.
where I was just sort of thinking about like that idea of what does our show look like in the next year, because it was just sort of like thinking about like talking. We should talk about what the best in the globe to a degree. We talk about our show has always been like we talk about everything, but I was like, should we talk about the bestest in the globe? And I'm like, to me, the best in the globe is CMLL, Stardom, probably right now, and I guess whatever we're going after. And then it's like, yeah, there are things like to the things of like we should really like flip the methodology of like we're talking so much about WWE and AEW, and those are obviously fun things to talk about as well. We can keep talking about those sort of things, but like making an effort to talk more about Joshi and talk. But even though I know that's your beat, and you already do that a lot, but talk about CMLL since they're doing so
Right.
great and
Hey,
scouring and looking for what's great.
make sure that might happen. Thank you, Triller. No, that's one of the fun things for me now. A lot of this was waiting till John retired
Yeah.
to now dissect what we actually cover, because now for me, I have outside of like a few wrestlers, I don't have anything fully pulling me into American wrestling outside of a few wrestlers. I'll be honest, I'm watching the C2 right now. Not feeling anything, which is again a me problem more so. There'll be a match that I'm sure I'll be like, holy shit, sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But like for example, I'm kind of very tired of like Takeshita, for example.
I realized that the other day as well. I still
Oh,
think he's a
okay.
great wrestler.
I'm not
I still
crazy.
think he's
Oh
a great
yeah,
wrestler, obviously. But it is this thing of like, all right, I
yeah.
am reaching this point of like, okay, Yeah.
I'm still part of the 50 list thing for Voice of Wrestling I learned the other day.
Not the FSM 50 or
FSM? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I have no idea what it's called. Sorry for anyone listening.
I spoke to Alan Farrell and I don't get an invite.
Alan's
What the heck?
great. Alan's great. I don't know if they had it. Anyways, I've been on it for a few years now, and every year I kind of forget about it, but I just stay on it to get my Joshi represented.
Yeah.
But my point was like he asked me about something, and I was like, I honestly don't know how many non-Joshi wrestlers I'll have on this year because I've been so unmoved by so many different things. Like I'll toss like a Hangman on there, and
yeah,
you bet your ass I'm tossing John Cena on there. I don't give a shit what anyone tells me otherwise. Yeah, was it a good year for him? Not really. Do I care? No, because he made my wrestling year better. But like that's the thing. Like a lot of discussion goes on. This is not me crapping on anyone by any means, but they'll name people. I'm like, and that's and Takeshi's a big one. Like he's high on my wrestler of the year list from match quality, especially in the first half.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Who's your wrestler of the year?
Yeah. Well, I think we're almost out of time, Scotty. So that's oh god.
Is it Takeshi? That's fine.
No,
I understand.
no, it's more obvious than that. Come on,
Fletcher.
Yeah, he's my number one right now.
I figured.
Takeshi's third.
Who's second? Is it Kenny still?
Yeah, it's Kenny still. He's just hung around.
That's insane.
I don't know if I don't know if the part of that is like, do I even vote for Kenny?
Well, yours is judged a little differently though, right? Like yours comes down to like percentage. I don't really remember.
We'll leave you with this. Hey, Alan Farrell, if you want my SFM 50, I can tell it to you right now. And I hate to say this, Scotty, number 50, Daniel Garcia. So maybe I should reevaluate my entire thing.
Yeah, I mean that.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
For what it's worth, just to wrap this up,
I can also give you the Joshi that are in the FS my 50 if you like.
Don't upset me.
They're not bad picks. Tam Nakano, Azame, Io, if you want to count that.
She counts.
Shuri, Saya Kamitani, Mayu, Suri.
Okay, there we go. Now I'm not.
That's all of them. I
was just waiting for the last two. Now I'm not upset anymore.
Tony Storm isn't making my 50.
But to prove my good, holy shit, I haven't seen Tony Storm wrestle in a minute. No, I did not watch the tag title match. I was annoyed. What was I gonna say? Oh, to just kind of point out how I feel about wrestling this year, both Tam Nakano and Nanae Takahashi are both still in my top 25. They have not wrestled combined since May.
Okay, so I don't feel bad for having Kenny Omega that.
No. That's just the year it's been, man.
My 25 ends at Shuri.
Okay, I said top. What was I said top 25, not top 3.
Yeah, that's fair. My top 25 ends at
Shuri.
How
much does Kenny have this year?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'll have to look up his cage match. While I look that up, Scotty, give us some plugs. Give us your match of the week.
Where the hell's Kenny? He's had 16. All right.
That's good enough. I feel like that's good enough to be fine.
Crazy low.
If you're over 10, I'm
I only have 25 from Hangman Page.
25 matches?
Yeah, and I don't think I've missed many.
Kenny's had 15, and we know for a fact he has one on Dynamite this Wednesday. Kenny basically wrestling 1 a month, maybe 2 at this point.
Yeah, he's retiring soon.
Yeah. Maybe we get another year of Kenny.
Maybe he looks more broken down than John.
Agreed.
Every time he steps out there. Now he will put on a great performance the best he can, but every time he walks, I'm like, oh, Kenny.
Scotty, you had a hard out 9:30. Give us your match of the week.
I'm getting out here. I'm getting out. Stop yelling at me. My match of the week was Mayu Utani versus Hummingbird. You're welcome, everyone. Go watch it. Go watch the Hummingbird. That's called Taste because I can't pick the John match. I haven't been watching much lately. The other pick would have been Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston. I thought that was a lot of fun. Shout out to Eddie Kingston proving to me, yes, people do still care about you winning gold, my friend. Good job. And I know what match you're picking, so I'm not going to take it from you. Correct.
Well,
And
we already kind of mentioned it, so I'll give you another option.
Oh, very nice. I appreciate that. Anyways, follow me at Scotty Wrestling on YouTube and Twitter, youtube.com/@ScottyWrestling. If you want more thoughts on Saya Kamitani's year, you can go watch that video. It's about an hour long. Talk about our whole year, giving praise to Tam Nakano, giving the ups and downs. It's not all positive because we can't lie, folks. It was not there was a clear what's the word I'm looking for? Cruise control that we found somewhere along the year for Saya Kamitani. That ultimately is all she had to do to get the trophy because no one was going to steal it from her once Ozawa got hurt. And Tanahashi did his best. Good job, buddy. But it's a lot of praise for Saya, the history behind it, all that good stuff. I also have a fun video coming out on Thursday. It's called the Joshi Christmas Special because who doesn't love a nice Christmas special, right? Right? I did that with Trent, old friend of the account. Yeah, I got him. It's like we have a Secret Santa on there, giving you some matches to watch. We have a Presents or Cole. Who gets presents? Who gets coal from the Joshi world?
These are my style of titles.
Fun fact: Trent gave Mayu coal. I was ready to jump at him, but it's a funny reason, so you can go watch that. And we also did Spreading Cheer, was just kind of celebrating things from the year that we really enjoyed that aren't talked about a lot. But Joshi Christmas Special, that's on Thursday. Next like month, I have a million videos planned because that's the time of year it is. Obviously, Ring Post Radio is going to dial up soon too. We have a lot to cover. Our favorite time of the year, I think, for us, our point of view on the show and things we talk about. We also have to try to figure out what the hell we're going to cover next year, and that's the beauty of it all. But I'm going to shut up now, Ryan. You can end the show, and we can get out of here.
My match of the week. Obviously, it's Mike Bailey versus Kyle Fletcher, but I'll be outside the dock. That Dynamite show, real quickly. Dynamite in Atlanta was a lot of fun. Go check it out if you haven't. I thought it was a really great show, top to bottom for the most part. But it was extremely fun being there live. Obviously, crowd was hot all night. They were promised a pay-per-view if they were on good behavior, and we were, I would argue, great behavior. And Tony Khan came out the most excited I've ever seen this man. So I think it's plausible. So that'd be fun. I love to go back to State Farm Arena. So if I'm not picking that one, which of course Mike Bailey, Kyle Fletcher, I'm going to be outside the box talking about this match. I haven't seen this company a little bit just because of my schedules. CMLL had their Viernes and of course I'm going to pick the main event CMLL World Light Heavyweight Title match between Mystico and Soberano Jr.
I haven't watched it yet. Very good.
Very, very good match. Very, very good match. Hot crowd. Can you believe it?
They have a big show this weekend. We should review it.
I agree. Oh, that's a good call. They
have the Dream Match show.
Exactly. We can watch it on Trailer Plus. You can follow us on social media if you dare. Follow us wherever you get podcasts. Follow us on YouTube. Count Out Podcast Wrestling Network is the YouTube channel. Listen to the rest of the shows on the network as well. I put out a primer for the ballot last week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was last week. A primer for the ballot 2026 seasons. No, I posted it
on YouTube.
Oh yeah, because I forgot to post it on YouTube after I posted the thing. It doesn't auto.
That's how I get my notifications for the thing because I subscribe, so it pops up like that.
Yeah, I fully forgot to do it. And that's on me, baby. I was also a guest on a returning guest to the Apron Bump podcast. Good friend Kyle. I was on it previously talking about an in your house something. I don't remember what it was, but basically he goes through and watches shows in like a timeline order where he'll watch like Ring of Honor all of order, fun. And he does them all at the same time. He'll do a Ring of Honor timeline. He has a TNA timeline. The in your house WWF was a WPV timeline.
Stop being in my house.
He's also doing a WCW timeline. So we watched Halloween Havoc 1997. That is the main event being Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper in a steel cage match, being an awful match. But what is the most memorable moment?
Is that Ray and Eddie?
Is Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, that match fucking rocks.
So I give a lot of opinions about it. I give a lot of praise to Mike Tenay in that match as well. why that match works on so many levels. So if you want to hear me give praise to a match on their level of execution, go listen to the Apron Bun podcast. I believe the episode is going to come out tomorrow as we're recording this. So it comes out this Wednesday, the 17th. So listen to that wherever you get podcasts. That is it for us this week on the Ring Post Radio podcast. Until next week, goodbye, everybody. And what was the last thing John Cena said? We should do a quick bow. We do a deep bow, deep bow to the audience, and then we salute. And I don't know, what was the last thing John Cena said, Scotty? And he's not, I guess nothing. He's just not going to say anything. All right, well, goodbye, everybody.